What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the 2022 NFL Draft. We are officially here. It is officially the time for the NFL Draft. We have talked for months and months. We have speculated. We have done scouting. We have done rumors. We have done all of the work. And now it's time to sit down and watch the NFL Draft unfold here tonight. We're going to be here for the entirety of the first round of the NFL Draft. Before we get into it, I do have a mock draft set up. This is one I did earlier today, whereas the other day for the video, I did what I would do if I was the general manager for each of those teams. This is what I think is going to happen in the NFL class. I think Travon Walker will go number 1. I think Kayvon Thibodeaux will go number 2. And I think Aidan Hutchinson will be the number 3 overall pick. Now, you can go through all of these selections. I mean, you can go up and down. This is how I see the first round unfolding for the Detroit Lions. And we are very close to seeing how close and how this NFL draft is going to turn out. So with that being said, the NFL draft is underway. I think that this is a very interesting draft because I genuinely think there's a lot of players that could go at any number of picks. This is personally how I see the first round of the NFL draft playing out. I think Travon Walker will be the number 1 overall pick. There's been a dispute between the owner and the general manager, whether it's going to be Travon Walker or Kayvon Thibodeaux. I don't know where to go with that one, but if I'm talking about, who has more power in that situation, the owner has more power than the general manager. And if the owner wants a player, more times than not, the owner gets that player on their team. So I think Travon Walker will be the number 1 overall pick. From what I've heard, it sounds like the Detroit Lions are very, very close or very in touch with Kayvon Thibodeaux. It sounds like that is their guy, and it sounds like he's going to be the number 2 overall pick. With that being the case, I think Hutchinson is the easy slot at number 3, maybe the best player in this entire draft, sells your tickets, right? Gets people in the building, gets you a quality franchise cornerstone, gets you your next J.J. Watt. I guess I haven't heard this, but I heard some people say that some even refer to him as the lost Watt brother, which I don't know if I would go quite that far, but he is a very, very good player. I think edge goes 1, 2, 3 in this class. Gardner, I think at 4 is a perfect fit for the Jets. The Giants, I think they're going to do their best to help Daniel Jones be successful. That means drafting Evan Neal. I think the first surprise of the night is Kenny Pickett being the first quarterback taken off the board at number 6. I think Kenny Pickett is the most pro-ready quarterback, and I really, really believe that if you're going to talk about I really think that if you are the Carolina Panthers and you've done the Sam Darnold experiment, you've done the PJ Walker experiment, you've done the, this and that, I just don't think you want to take another high-risk, high-reward quarterback. I think if you're the Carolina Panthers, to save your job as the head coach, you're going to go with the safe guy that you know what you're getting, and that is Kenny Pickett. I think Derek Stingley goes at number 7. Derek Stingley, after his freshman season, was looked at as a top 5 cornerback. I think he has big potential to go top 10 in this class. Malik Willis at 8, I think makes a lot of sense. The Falcons are in desperate need of quarterback help. They're in desperate need of everything after trading away Matt Ryan. I think they have a great opportunity to pick up their franchise quarterback for the future. You have Ika Mekwonu, I think a cornerstone piece for the Seattle Seahawks. Jameson Williams, I think, will go number 10 to the Jets, giving even more help to their young quarterback in Zach Wilson. Garrett Wilson will go number 11, again, giving Carson Wentz the best opportunity to succeed next season. Jermaine Johnson, I don't think is the 12th best player in this class, but he falls to the Minnesota Vikings, and I think they would be ridiculous not to pick him up. I think Charles Cross, again, you got your franchise, you got your flashy player with pick number 3. You come back, you protect your quarterback, you set a foundation on the offensive line with pick 13 and Charles Cross. Jordan Davis fits Baltimore better than just about any player I could ever think of. He's just the perfect player for them. He's going to be their Haloti Ngata from when they won the Super Bowl. Kyle Hamilton falls to 15. In no way do I think Kyle Hamilton is the 15th best player in this class, but at the end of the day, at positional value and where I think he's going to go, I could see Kyle Hamilton falling to this range. And if he falls to 15, I think you can make the argument that the Lions might even move up for him. Drake Jackson at 16, arguably the best wide receiver in this class. A lot of people like Drake Jackson, perfectly falls in the lap of the New Orleans Saints. You pair him with Michael Thomas, you give that duo to Jameis Winston. Sorry, I'm getting confused with Williams and Wilson and Winston. If you give that combo of Drake London and Michael Thomas and Antonio Galloway with a pretty solid offensive line foundation to Jameis Winston, he should be able to succeed even more than he did a season ago. And with that second first round pick, you can go back and draft a tackle. The Chargers, I'm sticking with my philosophy. I think giving Justin Herbert as much protection as possible, making him as productive and giving him as much help as possible is going to help your team be as successful as possible. Devin Lloyd, although I hope and pray that he falls to pick 32, I think the Eagles snatch him up here at 18. It's just a really good fit, and I don't see the Eagles passing on him twice. Again, the Saints come back. They replace Teron Armstead with number 19, Bernard Ryman. He's got some problems as far as technique, but he is an athletic freak, and I think he would slide in and be very good with the Saints coaching staff that has produced talent for a very long time. Desmond Ridder, quarterback at 20. This is one of the same picks that I had in my last one. Desmond Ridder is 6'3", easily replaces Ben Roethlisberger, and maybe even plays better than Ben Roethlisberger did down the stretch of his NFL career. I think he's a great pick. George Karlaftis seems like a very Patriots pick. They need some edge rushers. They need some edge production. They need pass rush. George Karlaftis is very raw. He hasn't played a lot of football, and it seems like a Patriots move to take the guy that doesn't have a lot of production, doesn't have a lot of tape, and just take him in the first round and turn him into an all-pro Bowl pass rusher. Chris Olave stays the same as well. I think he's the best fit for the Packers, and I think they would be very much in the wrong for passing on him. Zion Johnson gives Kyler Murray a little bit of protection. Devontae Wyatt gives the Dallas Cowboys a Randy Gregory replacement, I think is a big pickup for them. Kenneth Walker III is my guy at 25. I think he is the best running back in this class, and I think he's the one piece that the Bills are missing on offense. Trent McDuffie is my pick to Washington. Here's my pick to Tennessee. Their cornerbacks aren't incredible, and I could really see him either starting as a cornerback 2 or a nickel cornerback, nickel defender. He is a very good cornerback, and I think would be a great addition to the Tennessee secondary. Kenyon Green is the pick for the Buccaneers, again, giving Brady even more protection. I don't think the Green Bay's offensive line was all that good a season ago, especially in the middle. So I'm going to give them the best center prospect out in Tyler Lindenbaum from Iowa to replace what they had in Corey Linsley 2 years ago. I think the Chiefs, after losing their number one cornerback in Mike Hughes this offseason, go with Andrew Booth and then double up with Christian Watson in back-to-back picks. Andrew Booth would by far be the best cornerback left on the board. And Christian Watson, just pairing that size and speed, pairing that 4.3 speed, 6'4 frame with Patrick Mahomes' arm and the Andy Reid coaching staff, the guys that developed Tyreek Hill, the guys that developed Mecole Hardman, the guys that developed maybe even Travis Kelce. It's just, to me, a match made in heaven at that point. And then with all the big offensive linemen being off the board, I have Kaiir Elam being the pick at Cincinnati. Big reason they lost the Super Bowl wasn't really because of their offensive line. It was because of the secondary and the defensive backs. You get a big upgrade there. And then with the Detroit Lions passing on safety at number 2 and selecting an edge rusher, Lewis Cine, the safety from Georgia, is my pick at number 32. That is how I see the draft playing out tonight. Of course, we will go through the entirety of the first round, watch all of it from 15 to the top of the first overall pick to the bottom of the very, very last pick tonight at pick 32. We're going to go through trades. We're going to go through different scenarios. We're going to talk about each and every individual player. And with that being said, very, very soon, the NFL draft should be getting underway. They are just talking right now on stage. Roger Goodell is giving his big speech. The NFL draft is officially open, and the Jacksonville Jaguars are going to be on the clock very, very soon. But with that being said, let me just try in order to switch to this particular little draft tool here, and we are going to use this in order to go through trades. We're going to use this in order to go through and watch the 2022 NFL draft class. So, with that being said, I believe the commissioner is about to be on. Just kidding. That's Derek Carr talking because they're going to have every Raiders player talk about the draft being in Las Vegas. So, let's see.
Time to get this show started. You ready? All right, here we go. The 2022 NFL Draft is now officially open. The Jacksonville Jaguars are now on the clock. All right, there you go.
All right, Jacksonville is on the clock. 10 minutes and counting to the first overall selection. And of course, right after that, we have the Detroit Lions who are on deck. I really think it's going to be Travon Walker. I think that the owner likes Travon Walker. He's got tremendous upside. He is the odds-on favorite right now in Vegas to be the number 1 overall selection. I think that the owner is going to win this fight between himself and the general manager. And I do believe Travon Walker will be the number 1 overall pick in this year's NFL draft. So with that being said, I don't really see a trade scenario here. I mean, it doesn't seem like something that would be very realistic. It doesn't seem like something that would be very possible, right? Just trading away the number 1 overall pick doesn't seem likely. It doesn't seem like something that's going to happen. I don't really see any of the top 5 teams trading down at this point because I don't think there's going to be any team that's willing to give up the capital to trade up into the top 5. So, I mean, I think that, they're going to waste all 10 minutes just in case, just to build that suspension. But I truly do believe that Travon Walker is going to be the number 1 overall pick. Aidan Hutchinson is still very much in play. If I were the Jacksonville Jaguars, I would take Aidan Hutchinson with the number 1 overall selection. I think he is better than Travon Walker. I think he's more productive. I think he's more polished. I think he has not necessarily a higher ceiling, but he has a significantly higher floor, will be a much bigger impact player immediately. Pairing him with Josh Allen, I think, would be huge. And I mean, they didn't really develop Josh Allen all that well, in my opinion, right? The Jaguars didn't really develop Josh Allen into this elite pass rusher. He's okay. He's a decent pass rusher, but he's not anything I would say like incredible, nothing over the top, no like top 10, top 15 pass rusher in the NFL. Josh Allen's a very good player, but I'm still doubling up at edge if I'm the Jacksonville Jaguars, right? They signed their tackle to a very, very long-term deal. It seems like edge rusher is the move for the Jacksonville Jaguars. And I mean, at this point, it comes down to what they're going to do. And I think what goes off the board here at number 1 is going to be very, very critical for what happens at the number 2 overall selection. I think the Lions still have a ton of questions, right? I mean, we are essentially 20 minutes, 17 minutes away from the Lions adding their newest player. And we still honestly have no idea who is going to be on the board, who is going to, be selected by the Detroit Lions. It's a very unique, very odd draft class because unlike many years, we don't know who is going to go. The Jaguars lost a lot of pieces this year. Myles Jack went off to Pittsburgh. They had obviously DJ Chark come over to Detroit. They lost 2 of their starting offensive linemen on the interior. So maybe Ike Makwanu's still in play at a guard if you really want to play that game. Let's see. Super Saiyan Lion says, I'm calling it now. It's Hamilton or Johnson at 2. At this point, nothing would surprise me. At this point, nothing at all would surprise me in this year's class. I've heard the craziest outcomes. I've heard the Lions might take Drake London at number 2. I've heard that they might take Kayvon. They might take Aidan Hutchinson. They might take Kyle Hamilton. They might take Malik Willis. There's so many possibilities, and there's so many different ways that this can go. Edison Marinelli says Hutch at 3 is outrageous. I don't think Hutchinson's the 3rd best player in this class. I think he is probably number 1, but I just think that's how the draft is going to go based off of what I've heard, not necessarily what I think is going to happen. But I think Aidan Hutchinson has a very real possibility to be the number 1 overall pick. 5 minutes and 30 seconds counting down to this class. But like Super Saiyan Lion said, I think you could see anybody go off the board here. And I think you could see anybody go off the board to the Lions. Hamilton would be a big splash. Hamilton would be certainly following the quotes of, the positional value doesn't matter, instant impact starter, this and that. But yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be really, really interesting. This is not the fun part of the NFL draft, the waiting part of this game. It should move a little bit faster once we get outside of the top 5, and I don't have to repeat myself as much, have a little bit more to talk about that is real and not so much speculation. But yeah, 4 minutes and 40 seconds left. The Jaguars front office looks like they know what they're doing. They look pretty comfortable. My prediction, I hope the pick is in. The Lions are on the clock officially, and we are going to see who the number 1 pick in the NFL draft is going to be.
Immediately let the Lions know who has been selected. So the Lions know what's going on. That card is now being written on in the back off to the side of the stage.
All right, so the Jacksonville Jaguars have made the pick. They did not trade the pick away. They did not get rid of it. I don't see anybody other than Trayvon Walker or Aidan Hutchinson here. I really don't. I think those are the 2 players that are in play, 2 guys that they need to decide between. And I think either one's a good player. I think Hutch would be the better fit. But we're going to find out here in just a second who the number 1, sorry. I'm so used to saying number 2. We're going to find out who the number 1 overall pick is going to be in just a few minutes. If Roger Goodell could walk a little faster and they could maybe write this card down a little bit quicker, then we could get things moving, because as somebody who has firsthand experience, it does not take that long to write down the draft card. You have to write down 2 different things. I have my draft card right there. And you write down the name of the person, the number of the pick, and the team that's drafting them. That is it. Actually, I don't think you have to write down the team that's drafting them. I think you just got to write down the number of the pick and the player that they're selecting. And that's it. You have to write down like a number and a name. It's first and Trayvon Walker. It's literally 3 words. They can walk a little faster. I want this pick to be in because I'm so stressed about the Detroit Lions pick at number 2 that I just want this pick to be over with, to be totally honest. As long as it's not Trayvon Walker, I'm going to be super happy with the Detroit Lions first-round pick. They could draft Willis and go way out of the box. They could draft, Hutchinson and stay right on the chalkboard where a lot of people think they're going to be. It doesn't matter to me if they draft whoever they're going to draft. I'm just ready to start rooting for this team again. I'm ready to start, looking towards the future with what we have. And Roger Goodell is coming out on stage.
With the first pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Trayvon Walker.
Okay.
Linebacker.
There
Georgia.
you
All right,
go.
so let's check out the fan cam presented.
I'm very happy about this pick for the Lions because I don't like Trayvon Walker. I really don't think he's all that special as a pass rusher. I think he's a phenomenal athlete, right? As they have right here on the thing, as far as next-gen stats that they're showing, his athleticism is at an 86, which is an elite, top-tier athleticism score. His production's at a 61. Last season, 7.5 tackles for loss, 6 sacks, 1 sack in each of the college football playoff games. He didn't produce. Addison Marinelli says she's shocked. I'm honestly surprised. I'm not surprised that he went number 1 overall because I think that was the buzz. I think that was all the hype that they were talking about. And the one thing I'll give Trayvon Walker for production is that he showed up in big games, right? He showed up in the opener versus Clemson. He showed up in the championship versus Alabama. He showed up in the semifinal versus Michigan. And I would say those were his 3 best games of maybe his career, but definitely of the 2022 season. He's a good run blocker. He's a very good run stopper, I should say. And he's a great athlete with a high motor. But if I'm taking a pass rusher at number 1 or number 2, I want somebody that put up top tier production. I want somebody that hit at least 9 to 10 sacks in the season. Yeah, Trayvon Walker, according to Next Gen Stats, 80 overall, 86 athleticism, 61. The Lions have already picked their player. The Lions have already selected who they're going to pick. We haven't talked about it we've talked about it a ton, but we haven't talked about it a lot tonight. I'm shocked. I don't know who's going to be there. If it's Hutch, I'm happy with Hutch. If it's KT, I'm happy with KT. If it's Hamilton, I'm good with Hamilton. If it's Willis, I'm good with Willis. Honestly, even if it's Sauce, I'm okay with Sauce. Like, honestly, the Lions cannot miss here. I genuinely don't think there's a miss here in the first couple of picks. There might not be a slam dunk, Hall of Fame talent, right? There's no Trevor Lawrence. There's no Andrew Luck, etc. But there's some very good players. Payout time is here, says A Writer. Hope the Lions make you happy. At this point, the Jaguars just made me very, very happy as a Lions fan, because that means the Lions cannot draft Trayvon Walker, and that is the only failing grade I had for them inside the top 10. The Lions pick is in at number 2. They didn't even entertain the possibility of a trade. They went straight to the podium, put that name down, and they are ready to pick. If I had to guess, based off of the rumors that came out last night about which edge rusher the Lions were interested in and how the first meetings went, I'm going to guess this is Kayvon Thibodeaux, just strictly based off of the comments about Kayvon Thibodeaux, based off of the things that he said, based off of, the fact that he said him and Brad Holmes got along very well, that it was just like talking to his uncle at a cookout. Like, they just got along. They meshed really, really well. They're right on the same page. I'm really excited to see what this is. If I had to guess, it's going to be Trayvon Walker, but there's a lot of really good talent left. So Roger Goodell, take it away.
With the second pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Aidan Hutchinson.
Okay.
Defensive end, Michigan.
Okay. Aidan Hutchinson is the second overall pick. I'm happy with it. Like I said before, he was not my number 1 player, but he was one of 3 players on my board that would get an A grade for me, and that is exactly what I'm going to give it. His production was at a 96. His athleticism was at a 95. He may not be the athlete of Trayvon Walker, or he may not be the athlete of, a boy mouth of Kayvon Thibodeaux. He is still a very good athlete for 6'6". And yes, he has tiny T-Rex arms, but he is now the newest pass rusher for the Detroit Lions, 2021 first team All-American. Addison Marinelli is upset because we made a deal and I said he'd go number 2. She said he'd go number 1. I was right. I win the bet. And Aidan Hutchinson is a Detroit Lion. 14 sacks a season to go, walking out with all the swag in the world. I can't wait to see Aidan Hutchinson hold up this Honolulu blue jersey. He's coming home. He's coming to Detroit. Hold it up. Aidan Hutchinson is the number 2 pick in the NFL draft. This is what Lions fans wanted to see. This is what Lions fans got. Aidan Hutchinson falls to the Detroit Lions with a PFF grade of 74. Or PFF, according to PFF, had 74 quarterback pressures, which was 3rd in the FBS. 28 tackles for loss, 18.5 sacks, 4 forced fumbles in his career. I mean, all of his production came in the last season of his career. Got injured his junior season or sophomore year. Got injured 2 years ago. I mean, Heisman runner-up last year. It's a great pick. It really is. He's a great run defender, which is something the Detroit Lions absolutely needed. He's a very good pass rusher, very violent, very strong. Honestly, the Lions very well may have walked out with the best player in this draft class. I know I talked all offseason about how I would take Kayvon Thibodeaux over Aidan Hutchinson. But if you're talking day 1, impact player, high motor, great leader, great mentality, great mindset, elite football character, Aidan Hutchinson very well could be the best player in this year's NFL draft.
Perfect fit for you.
No, it's great. I'm happy I get to go back to Detroit, go back to Motor City, hopefully win some ball games and get back to winning. I'm fired up. It's made a great decision.
They're hoping you win some ball games too. All right, you showed me earlier on the red carpet the inside of your suit jacket. Can you show everyone here and explain what's written inside?
So inside the suit jacket, my mom made it. It is all my visualizations and manifestations from all my journaling the past 5 years. And we put it on both sides of the jacket. Stuff like, I'm going to be a first-team All-American. I'm going to be a Heisman finalist. And, you know, a lot of that stuff came true. So it's my beliefs about myself.
It was sort of hard to read, but there are many, many journals for 5 years over that. Well, congratulations to you.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right. So, Aidan Hutchinson is the pick at number 2. The Texans have their pick in. The Texans have put in the number 3 overall pick. I've seen rumors this could be Derek Stingley. I've seen rumors this could be a pass rusher. I've seen rumors this could be any number of players. So I'm really excited to see what happens. The Lions, I think, made a great decision with the number 2 overall pick. Aidan Hutchinson is the move. Aidan Hutchinson is the selection, and Aidan Hutchinson will be wearing 97 in Detroit. I'm very happy with this pick. Like I said before, may not have been my number 1 graded player. The Lions didn't make some big, over the top, splashy move that blew away everybody's expectations. They didn't go out of the box too far to draft this player. Stayed in Michigan, stayed with the hometown kid, stayed with the guy with the great motor, the guy that nearly single-handedly willed Michigan to the college football playoffs. I'm happy about this pick. I really am very ecstatic about this selection. I don't think the Lions could have gone much better with this pick. Now, James Irvin says, great pick by the Lions. I think so too, right? This might not be on the level of a Penei Sewell from a year ago, right? I'm not quite up there with excitement, but I mean, if you're talking about best possible scenarios in this class, knowing that trading down isn't an option, Aidan Hutchinson is arguably the best player in this class. I think he's the best day 1 product you're going to get. Again, I compared him to Max Crosby. That's my comp for him right now. Some people have him graded, and some people have his ceiling as high as Joey Bosa. Some guys have his ceiling as high as J.J. Watt and Nick Bosa. If he reaches those heights, he's going to be well worth the 2nd overall pick. I have a lot of faith that they're gonna develop him properly. I mean, they did a very good job last year. The defensive line coach did a great job developing Julian Okwara, did a great job having a career year out of Charles Harris, got career production out of Austin Bryant. And I think he's going to not only have Aidan Hutchinson being in contention for Rookie of the Year next season, but I think you're also going to see him develop into something very special.
NFL draft, the Houston Texans select Derek Stingley Jr.
Wow.
Defensive back, LSU.
Wow.
So the first corner off the board.
Very interesting. Very interesting. You might see, very possibly, Sauce Gardner go at 4. You might see 2 edges and 2 corners go off the board in back-to-back picks. Derek Stingley is a great player. I like Derek Stingley a lot. I think he's got a lot of potential. He's extremely explosive, extremely athletic, and if he stays healthy, he's going to be an all-pro cornerback in the very near future. I mean, he's maybe the perfect build for the cornerback position. He's long, he's good size, he's got phenomenal speed. I believe ran a 4.3 something at the NFL Combine or at his NFL Pro Day. His only concern is durability, but if he can stay healthy and stay on the field and play anywhere near the level of his freshman year, he's going to be a great pick for the Houston Texans. I like this pick a lot, right? 15 pass breakups and 6 interceptions in his freshman year as they went undefeated for national champions. As a freshman, he walked into LSU, took the number 1 cornerback position, won the Jim Thorpe Award for best defensive back in college football, and never, ever looked. I mean, he was the best defender in 2019. He was a great player in a great situation. I mean, he definitely struggled, right? His sophomore and junior campaigns, a lot of that had to do more with injuries than anything else. If he's on the field, he's going to be a great player for any team for any team. He's going to be a great player for the Houston Texans. The Jets are now on the clock. 5 minutes, 15 seconds left to go until their selection is made at the absolute most. The Jets missed the playoffs for 11 straight seasons. If you want to complain about being a Lions fan, that is where we're at. I haven't been updating this, but let's start putting stuff on the board now. I've been too busy with this. Trayvon Walker goes number 1. Aidan Hutchinson goes number 2. And at number 3 overall, Derek Stingley Jr., the cornerback from LSU, is the number 3 overall pick. This draft is already getting off to something pretty darn special. I mean, something very unique for sure. I'm already off a little bit on my rankings. I'm already off a little bit, right? I've already missed 2 of the top 3 picks. I was in the right ballpark for the Lions. I was way off for the Houston Texans. But hey, the Lions got their guy. The Lions got the hometown kid. I am so happy with how this draft is starting to play out. And if all things go right, hopefully the Lions end off tonight with either a safety or a linebacker to close off this draft. If somehow Lloyd falls to 32, I would love it. If somehow Kyle Hamilton falls to the teens, I would even advocate to move up for Kyle Hamilton. Could you imagine, after all this arguing, Hutchinson or Hamilton, if they walk out with both in this year's class? I mean, that would just be absolutely incredible. But I mean, at this point, the Lions, I couldn't have asked for a better start for the Detroit Lions. The only thing I could have said is, hey, if you could maybe get another first-round pick out of Carolina, then, hey, if you can get like a future first out of Carolina to move down to 6, then you're lucky. But hey, that's out of their Lions' control. So far, with what they can control, I think they absolutely aced the number 5 overall pick. We have an opinion from Luke G's Field Review. Put it on Twitter. Says, I personally don't think we will be happy with Hutch after it's all said and done, but we shall see. I'm rooting for him. I think that's fair. At this point, he's a Detroit Lion. And whether you wanted Hutch, whether you didn't want Hutch, whether you thought he was edge 1, edge 2, edge 3, whether you thought we should be draft him at 2, whether you thought he would go at 4 or 3 or wherever he was going to go, Hutchinson is a Detroit Lion, and Hutchinson is the newest player that we're going to be rooting for this season. I'm so happy for I'm happy for him. I think he's going to be a really good edge rusher. If he can hit the milestone of Joey Bosa, if he can hit the milestone of a Nick Bosa, or some of those bigger heights that some people have set for him, then I'm going to be really happy. But overall, I mean, no complaints so far. The pick is in for the New York Jets. So as soon as they come back from commercial, the commissioner should be walking out on to the draft stage, and we should be getting on to our pick. Now, Good Day says, congrats to Hutch. Congrats to Campbell. Yeah, I think it was a very good pick. I think the Lions, yet again, using a first-round pick very, very well. First-round pick well spent. I think they're 2 for 2 so far. Under the old regime with Bob Quinn, the Okudah pick, you were kind of feeling, okay, it's risky. Some of the other picks that they've made, you're like, okay, this doesn't make a lot of sense. So far, using their first-round picks very well, the Lions under Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell, so far, in my opinion, are 2 for 2 on first-round draft picks. And hopefully, they can end the night 3 for 3 on first-round draft picks. But we will have to wait and see, because we have quite a long ways to go until that 32nd overall pick, if they select at 32 at all. So, I mean, I'm super happy with it. I think the Lions absolutely aced this pick. We're going to see where the Jets go. If I had to guess, I would say Sauce Gardner is their guy. I think picking at 10, you have a better opportunity to get a wide receiver at 10 than you do to get Sauce Gardner. I think there's a lot of wide receivers that you could take. I think Wilson or Williams. I think Jameson Williams. I think Garrett Wilson. I think Drake London are all good options at the number 10 overall pick. At least one of them is going to be there. I don't think you're going to get Sauce Gardner at pick number 4. I think Ahmad Gardner, cornerback from Cincinnati, ranked 4th overall by Pro Football Focus, will be the pick here. I've heard rumors. Rumors came out today that Mekhi Becton may be getting shopped by the New York Jets. So maybe that throws in your Ike Mekwonu if you really want that. But I don't see them going anywhere other than Sauce Gardner at this selection. But we are going to see in just a minute as Roger Goodell is set to come out on the draft stage. So take it away, Roger.
Let's see what the Jets do with their first of 2 top 10 picks.
With the 4th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Jets select Sauce Gardner.
Okay. All right.
Defensive back,
There
Cincinnati.
we go.
Guys, I'm going to get emotional.
Sauce Gardner is the 4th overall pick in the NFL draft. Sauce goes to New York. I think it's a very good pick. I think that you look at the Jets, like I said, production 97, athleticism 72, overall grade of a 93 for Ahmad Gardner. I mean, again, first team All-AP All-American, consensus All-American in 2021. Best cornerback in the class, didn't allow a touchdown at all during his collegiate career. A lot of people talk about him as the next Darrelle Revis. He went the wrong way and accidentally forgot his hat. But, I mean, he is arguably the best cornerback in this class. I don't think he has the athletic upside of Derek Stingley, but certainly has better technique, certainly has better production, certainly is worthy of a top 5 pick. And I think the Jets hit as well. I think the Jets have done very well under Robert Saleh so far. I think Sauce Gardner being their next Darrelle Revis is only going to help them reach the playoffs that much faster, right? I would say the only other pick I could have possibly seen was maybe an edge rusher, because that's just the route that Robert Saleh went with the 49ers. But getting elite secondary help is never a bad option. PFF allowed 131 receiving yards in coverage in 2021 in 13 games, 18 pass breakups, 9 interceptions in 37 career games. Great production. Sauce Gardner is the pick at number 4, right? He's long, rangy. Some people have him compared to Antonio Cromartie. Some people have him compared to Darrelle Revis. A lot of people have him compared to a shutdown corner. Ran a 4.41 actually at 190 pounds. The only thing about Sauce is that he's a little bit slim, but he is not afraid to tackle. He will hit. He will get a lot of incompletions. He will get a lot of turnovers for your secondary. I mean, you look at the fact that he was matched up versus Alabama and didn't give up anything. He was matched up against Notre Dame and didn't give up a thing. I mean, he was my cornerback 1 in this draft class. I think he is the best corner in this class, and I think the Jets did a very, very good job with this pick. Now, with that being said, the New York Giants are on the clock. Jets Nation seems very happy with the fact that Sauce is a Jet. I think that's the guy that they wanted. I think that's the guy that they were looking for, and I can't disagree with them. I think it's a very good pick, and I think they hit this one right on the head as well. Sauce Gardner's up. Let's see what he's got to say.
Rich Eisen, I know you are anxiously awaiting this one. All right.
Let me know if you guys can hear this okay, by the way.
Of the New York Jets. How does that sound to you?
Man, it sounds great, man. You know, that was the plan all along. I just wasn't saying too much, man. I'm extremely blessed. Shout out to Rich. You know, I'll make sure I go to the Jets, you know, make sure I bust my tail to be the best teammate, you know, stay frosty.
They're going to need you. They want to start winning. All right, tell us. We talked a little bit about this. Tell us this one's new.
I mean, the Jets fans know, man. They know about the sauce, man. You can't have too much sauce. You know, so I added a new addition, man, because I already knew that's where I was going to be at.
So what's the extra addition?
Extra sauce. You know, this right here. This new pendant, man, that's the extra sauce.
The funny thing is New York is such a tough media, and the fans are so tough, but you've got the nickname, you got the bling. You're going to fit right in.
Yo, yeah, most definitely. I love it, man. It's a pleasure.
Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
Rich, I know you love this.
Yeah, I do. I wanted the sauce. Planet sauce. There you go.
He's a New York Jet. He's got the sauce. Highest drafted cornerbacks in the common draft era. Derek Stingley at number 3, Jeff Okudah at number 3, and Ahmad Gardner at number 4 are the 3 highest taken cornerbacks ever in the NFL draft. A couple other guys have been taken at number 4, but 2 cornerbacks in the top 4 picks. I don't think that's ever been done before. And I mean, I'm really excited. I think that he is a great football player. The pick is in for the New York Giants. If I had to guess for New York, I would take an offensive tackle. If I'm New York, I'm looking Evan Neal or Ike Mekwonu. I'm saying, this is my guy. I'm giving Daniel Jones the best opportunity to make his case in a 5th-year option, make or break scenario. This is his last chance. This is what he has to do in order to be successful. And I'm going to give him all the tools to be successful, because if you give him the offensive tackle, if you give him the receivers, you give him the talent, and it works, then you know you have your guy. And if it doesn't work, then you have the proper foundation for next year's quarterback. Then you have the proper foundation for Bryce Young. You have the proper foundation for CJ Stroud. And I know that's a long ways away. I know we got a whole season to go before next year's draft, thankfully, because I don't think I can do this for another month. But yeah, I think this pick is Evan Neal or Ike Mekwonu. I think it's a tackle. I don't see them going anywhere else. I don't think edge is a big enough need to go with Kayvon. I don't think linebacker is a big enough need to reach for Devin Lloyd. I think that it's going to be Evan Neal. That is my prediction so far. I say 3 for 3. I'm pretty sure I guessed Hutchinson correctly. But I got Trayvon. I got Sauce. I definitely did not get Derek Stingley. But as far as guessing live, I'm so far, I'd say 3-1 right now. So I got a pretty good record so far. I think this is going to be Evan Neal. So we'll see.
Part of the Giants selection.
For the New York Giants pick, I'm joined by Sam Prince, a lifelong Giants fan and Make-A-Wish kid.
This is really cool. I like how they do this a lot. Usually it's actually, funnily enough, I think always with the 5th overall pick. Because I know they did this with Denver as well when they drafted Bradley Chubb.
And feeling stronger than ever, as you can see.
That's really cool.
Tonight, his wish to announce the Giants' first pick comes true. We hope this wish will be a turning point for Sam as he looks forward to being a sports broadcaster in the future.
Hey, that's my job. That's my job.
Okay, Sam, time to get your wish true, baby.
Thank you, Mr. Goodell. With the 5th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Football Giants select Kayvon Thibodeaux.
Wow. Wow.
Giants fans get their pass rush.
That's my reaction too. Wow. That's different. Okay. Kayvon Thibodeaux, like I've said all offseason, Kayvon Thibodeaux I think is the best edge rusher in the class as far as pass rush. Clearly the character concerns were enough to drop him to number 5, but the talent was too much to let him fall past that. 2021 AP unanimous selection for first team All-American, 12 tackles for loss, 7 sacks in 2021. He's a great player. He is super athletic, has a super high ceiling. I thought the Detroit Lions would go with Kayvon Thibodeaux based off of the pre-draft comments about him, but he ends up going to the Football Giants. 115 QB pressures from 2019 to 2021, 7th in Power 5 throughout that span. 2-time first team All Pac-12, and again, 2021 first team unanimous All-American. I think it's a really good pick. I didn't think edge was the biggest need for the Giants. I thought their defense was much better than their offense a season ago. I thought giving Daniel Jones all the help he could use was something that would really benefit them as a football team. But they do hold a pick at number 7, meaning they are guaranteed one of the tackles, whether it be Charles Cross, Ike Mekwonu, or Charles Cross, Ike Mekwonu, or Evan Neal at that number 7 overall pick. So they still have an opportunity to get that as well. But for the time being, I think first shock of the draft, Kayvon Thibodeaux is the number 5 overall selection. He's a good player. I think that it's a good pick for the Giants. A little out there, sure. Maybe more to sell tickets than anything else, maybe. But at the end of the day, they're getting a very good pass rusher. You know, I think he has a higher ceiling than Aidan Hutchinson, but I think he's got a much lower floor than Hutch. He's not as good of a run blocker for sure. I mean, we'll talk a lot about Hutch versus KT and what choice was right, but hey, KT's a Giant, Hutch is a Lion. Again, A grade for both teams so far. I think there's been a lot of good picks so far, right? For a draft that didn't have a number 1 consensus guy at the first overall selection, I think so far they're doing a very good job. All of the teams. I think the Lions did very well. I think Texans did very well. I think the Jets, and even the Giants. I think the Giants have a weird one because I think the edge wasn't their biggest need. But hey, if you're walking away with Kayvon Thibodeaux and another top 10 selection in this year's class, you're walking away with a pretty darn good class. So with that being the case, I think the only team that actually hasn't hit so far is, funnily enough, the team that picked very first with Trayvon Walker. Now, I think it'd be an interesting scenario to know what would have happened if Hutchinson had gone number one. If Hutchinson was the first overall pick, whether Kayvon would have been the second. They're talking about Oregon Ducks drafted in the top 10. Kayvon is now not the highest. He's the second highest Duck to be drafted behind Marcus Mariota. Obviously, our very own Penei Sewell was up there. Justin Herbert was up there. I think it's crazy that they had Penei Sewell, Justin Herbert, and Kayvon Thibodeaux, and still were never able to win the Pac-12 back in 2019. I think that's incredible. I think that's ridiculous that they had all that talent and they weren't able to win. But hey, KT is now a Giant. Well, let's see.
What do you expect? This is a man who does not want confidence, and now you are headed to the Big Apple. You said you knew.
I knew. I manifested. We had great talks, and he FaceTimed me right before I got on the plane. And he was excited to talk to me, and I knew it was time.
Tell us about celebrating right out here with Roger and that young man that was so special.
It was just a blessing, man. I can't even believe to be a part of this. I watched it for so many years, and just to be a part of a family, an organization like this is ridiculous.
So exciting. Well, they've had a lot of losing seasons, and you bring a lot of hope. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
So Sauce and Thibodeaux, man. That's you, as you said.
I believe the Panthers are going to look to trade this pick away. Just kidding. Panthers are going to select. I thought the Panthers might trade this pick away, knowing that they don't pick again until like 170 something, right? Maybe 130s. They don't pick again until like 20 to 30 picks into the day 3 of the draft. I thought they maybe look to trade down. I thought they maybe look to pick up some more capital and get some more talent, knowing that they aren't a very good football team right now. I'm going to stick with my prediction. I think Kenny Pickett stays as the number 6 overall selection. He's ready. He's, going to be the best quarterback day 1, in my opinion. I think that what's the name of their head coach? He came from Baylor. I can see it. Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule wants to keep his job in Carolina. And I think the easiest way to do that, instead of hitting and hoping on Malik Willis, instead of swinging and hoping on Malik Willis, the prospect out of Liberty, is to take the Kirk Cousins of this draft, take the guy that day 1 is going to come in and be a top 20 quarterback, and at the end of his career is going to leave the NFL as a top 20 quarterback. Might be very similar throughout the entirety of the NFL, right? Sometimes might dip into that borderline top 10, be throughout his entire career, top 15 to 20 quarterback in the class. Again, on a career year, might jump into the borderline top 10. I think Kenny Pickett's the best pick. I think he's going to win them the most football games the earliest. And I think when you're talking about saving your job as the Carolina Panthers general manager and the Carolina Panthers head coach, I think the safe pick is the right pick here, and the safe pick is Kenny Pickett. But we are going to see. Maybe they make a splash. Maybe they sign. Maybe they take Kyle Hamilton. Maybe they take Evan Neal and they wait another year for a quarterback. Maybe they, go a little farther and they go do something crazy like draft George Karlaftis, or, they get a big weapon or something. There's a lot of different ways they can go. I'm going to guess they go Kenny Pickett, but I wouldn't be shocked if they take one of the top tackles in this class either, as all 3 of the top tackles are still on the board at 6. This is an interesting class. I'm wondering when we're going to see the first offensive player go. We genuinely might not see an offensive player go off the board until the 7th, maybe the 10th pick. Because I'm trying to think, right? Like the Panthers could take a quarterback. I would guess they wouldn't go defense here, even though that's what Matt Rule's done the last 2 seasons or last 3 seasons, however long he's been there. Right? He's a big defense first guy. I just don't see them going. I think they go offense here. I think that they're going to go offense number 6. I'm going to guess Kenny Pickett is going to be the pick here because, again, he's just the safe option. He's just the guy that is going to win you the most football games the soonest. And when you're talking about saving your job, That's the guy you want. You want the guy that's going to save your job and set you up to make some picks in the future, set up to make some picks in 2023. And I think that the Jets, and not the Jets, I think the Panthers can go in any direction at this point. Again, recapping the top 5, Trayvon Walker goes number 1. I don't like the pick for Jacksonville, but I love the pick for Detroit. Hutchinson comes home at number 2. I love that pick. I'm so happy that they made the right selection there. Derek Stingley, I think, shocks the board at number 3. Gardner with the chalk pick at number 4. Kayvon Thibodeaux was at number 5, and we're going to see who comes off the board at 6.
With the 6th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Carolina Panthers select Ikem Ekwonu.
Whoa.
Tackle, North
Okay.
Carolina State.
Okay, so they go for a pass protection.
Interesting. Okay, so this was the other scenario that I had talked about just a minute ago. Passing, actually deciding to pass on a quarterback. One of the big teams that needed a quarterback in this class ended up passing on the QB, which is very interesting. That leaves one more spot closer. The Lions landing Malik Willis at 32, which is what Daniel Jeremiah had happening in his mock draft that came out yesterday. But I think it's a good pick. I think that Ikem Ekwonu is going to be arguably the best pass protector on the Carolina Panthers roster as of right now. I mean, you're talking about a guy that, maybe isn't on the level of Penei Sewell, but had a 93.8 PFF run blocking grade a season ago, allowed just 3 sacks a season ago. He definitely has some things he certainly has some things to work on. He certainly has, some technique things to clean up, and he could play either guard or tackle in the NFL. I think he'll play tackle for the Carolina Panthers. I think he's got the highest upside in this class as far as run blocking. He's the best run blocker in this class, while not being a liability in pass protection. Ikem Ekwonu is a great player. 6'4", 315 pounds. Trades that they show on there, their pro comparison is Jason Peters. If you're taking Jason Peters with the 6th overall pick, you're spending that pick very, very well. Him and Jermaine Johnson had a back and forth battle when they played Florida State. He is, in my opinion, the best and the nastiest run blocker in this entire draft class. I'm super happy with it. Obviously he's not with the Detroit Lions. I don't know how you can put his athleticism at 76 because I think he's a really good athlete, especially in the run blocking. But hey, I think he was my tackle 1 in this class. Like they said, he's a mauler in space. He is just pancakes dudes for a living. I think they got this pick right. I really, really do. I think they got this pick very much right. And I think Sam Darnold is likely, I say likely because you never know, but Sam Darnold is likely going to be the starting quarterback at least one more year in the NFL. The New York Giants are back on the clock, and Ikem Ekwonu is going to answer some questions for us.
Just kept saying, wow, you're staying home. Can you believe it?
See, it's just a dream come true. Like, this whole moment just feels so surreal. The fact, I've been growing up being a Carolina Panthers fan, and now I'm about to be in that building. It's really just crazy to me. Crazy.
And you don't have to go far. This is going to be easy for you. Now, you felt the struggles of the Carolina Panthers as of late. So tell the fans why there's hope.
Man, I'm just going to do everything I can to be the best player, best person I can be. I'm from the area, man. I love Charlotte so much. I'm just going to do everything I can to get myself involved with the community and just be the best person I can be on and off the field. Man, I just love the Panthers so much, and I'm so grateful for this opportunity.
Love that smile. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
So the Panthers have selected. Joel Klatt, take it away.
Well, Rich, you talked about
All right. The Giants pick is in at pick number 7. Again, Ikem Ekwonu, number 6 overall pick. I think the Panthers saw the same thing that I was saying. This quarterback class might not be the best. I think you're drafting a foundational cornerstone piece. I think Ikem Ekwonu is a decade, 15, 20-year player at the tackle position. He's going to be there for a decade plus. He's going to hold down that offensive line for over 10 years, assuming you re-sign him, obviously. It's going to be really interesting. The Giants' number 7 overall pick has been turned in. They, of course, went Kayvon Thibodeaux with pick number 5. I really think offensive line is in the – I really think offensive line is in the future for the New York Giants. Evan Neal is a great player. Evan Neal is a better pass protector, I'm going to say, than Ike Ekwonu. And I think you want to give Daniel Jones the best opportunity to make some plays. And I think that's giving him some protection with the number 7 overall pick. Now we're going to find out. We're going to see. I think an offensive tackle gives Daniel Jones the best opportunity to make some plays. I think it gives Saquon Barkley the best opportunity to make some plays. It makes the most sense to me. The number 31st scoring offense in the league last season. Negative 158-point differential last year, the worst in Giants history, dating back to 1980. I think that they're going to take an offensive player here. Here comes the commish.
Giants, the first team with multiple picks to be done, choosing
With
both
the
from the
7th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select Evan Neal,
Yep.
tackle, Alabama.
Yep, so that one was it was pretty easy to select. I mean, it makes the most sense, right? You're not going to go Kyle Hamilton at 7. You're not going to go Jameson Williams at 7. You're not going to go George Karlaftis at 7. You're not going to reach for a linebacker. And at this point, you're a little too far down the board. Evan Neal or Charles Cross were really the top 2 players in this class left with a big needed offensive line. You already addressed edge. I like that they take Kayvon at 5 now because I don't know if Kayvon falls to 7 if he's available for the Carolina Panthers. I really like this pick. I really do. I think it gives Daniel Jones and Saquon Barkley in that offense the best opportunity to succeed. I think it gives Brian Daboll a foundational piece for the rebuild of the New York Giants. I think it was the best pick. Now, the Atlanta Falcons are on the clock. The Atlanta Falcons not having a great team, trading away their quarterback from a season ago, losing out on Calvin Ridley for next season, and likely having to trade him away after or at some point during the 2022 season. I think there's a couple different spots they could go. I think Malik Willis is in play. I think that wide receiver is certainly in play. I think they could take the first wide receiver off the board if they wanted to. Again, Malik Willis, I think Drake London, I think that Garrett Wilson could be really, really interesting. There's a lot of ways that they could go with this one. Can't even talk because that number was big. Evan Neal is 6'7.5" with 337 pounds. I think he is the best pure pass blocker in this class. I mean, just dominated the SEC's top pass rushers a season ago, including Trayvon Walker. He shut Trayvon Walker out in the SEC championship game. I mean, you're talking about an elite pass pro on day one, 91 athleticism, 93 production, 95 overall as a prospect as far as Pro Football Focus's advanced statistics, right? You have him doing pretty good at run blocking, getting to the second level against Notre Dame in the semifinals 2 years ago. I'm really, really excited. I think that it's a great pick. I think that it's a foundational piece. I think it's the right pick for the New York Giants. I think they did a very good job in this first. I think they did a very good job. I think that, first draft under Brian Daboll, you didn't really know how they were going to draft. And Brian Daboll got foundational pieces on the offense and on the defense. And I think that they're off to a very good start on the rebuild. Now, just give me 1 second. All right. My throat's getting a little dry. I need some water. But I think this one's hard for me. The Atlanta Falcons is hard because as much as I want to say, oh, Malik Willis is just going to keep falling down the draft board. Malik Willis is just going to keep going and going and going. He's going to be there at 32, and we're all going to celebrate. I don't think it happens, and I have a feeling he might go off the board here at number 8. I think Malik Willis is the best quarterback in the class. I think Jameson Williams, you could definitely and certainly make the argument for. Same thing with Garrett Wilson. Same thing with Drake London. I think it's going to be either wide receiver or quarterback. That's going to be my guess, because if you look at their other needs like guard and center, you're probably not going to take this high. Defensive line, maybe you're at the really, really high end of Jordan Davis or is it Devontae Wyatt? Devontae Wyatt. I mean, the pick is in. We're going to find out here in just a moment. But if I had to guess, I'm going to say it's Malik Willis, the quarterback from Liberty, officially going off the board here at number 8. But I wouldn't be shocked, like I said, if it was a wide receiver. The Falcons wide receivers had 1,138 receiving yards when aligned wide in 2021. That was the fewest in the NFL. That was while missing out on Calvin Ridley last season. That could make you lean towards wide receiver. But at the same time, are you really going to feel comfortable starting Marcus Mariota with your quarterback position and likely being one of the worst teams in the NFL? We're going to find out. We are going to find out. But the pick is in at number 8, and Roger Goodell, my friend, should be joining the draft stage very, very soon. But with that being said, I really think that this pick is going to be Malik Willis. I'm not going to put it in just yet, but I will scroll. I will get there. I think I have a strong suspicion that Malik Willis will. I'm sorry. I have a strong suspicion Malik Willis will be the 8th overall pick. Roger Goodell is approaching the stand. Let's see what happens.
With the 8th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Drake London.
Okay.
Wide receiver.
Interesting. Okay. So Drake London is a really good player. I mean, 6'3", 219 pounds, junior from USC. That is the University of Southern California. Let's see. If we go to Sports Reference, I want to pull up some stats for you guys because you guys like some statistics, right? Let us see. If we were to go to London, not the city, but the player, Drake London last year in 8 games had 1,084 yards and 7 touchdowns. He's 6'5", 210 pounds. He's a really, really good football player. Drake London, the second-graded wide receiver by PFF. It's a great pick. I really think this is a good pick for the Falcons. Again, the quarterback class is a little bit weaker, right? Maybe you don't want to spend that top-end pick with the – let me just get comfortable really quickly. You're not going to spend that top – top 10 pick on a quarterback that you're not entirely comfortable with. And I think that Drake London's a very good pick. Okay, this is not going to work. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just trying to get comfortable since we're already an hour in and we're only 8 picks into this thing. But I think Drake London's a very good player. He's got size. He's got reach. I think a lot of people have him compared to Mike Evans as far as high pointing, contested catching, working through defensive backs. I really think that Drake London he was my wide receiver too, but as far as what the Falcons want, I think he was the best wide receiver for them. I don't think that Garrett Wilson would have been a better choice. I think that, having a bigger body, a bigger catch radius for maybe a quarterback that's not as accurate as a guy that you would like in Marcus Mariota. I think Drake London with a larger catch radius, a bigger room for error is the right choice for the Atlanta Falcons. So with that being said, Drake London, first team all Pac-12, 2021 Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Year. 88 receptions, 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, led the Pac-12 in receptions and receiving yards while only playing 8 games this season. They go 19 contested catches last year, most in the FBS. 19 contested catches in 8 games. It's pretty good for a wide receiver.
Of the Atlanta Falcons, you just told me you don't even know what to think.
I don't even know how I'm going to do this interview right now. It's just, I'm speechless.
You're taking it all in.
Yeah.
So you get to play alongside Kyle Pitts. What are you bringing to the Atlanta Falcons?
I think just playmaking ability. I mean, especially with Kyle Pitts over there. I mean, it's Twin Towers.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's check out the NFL player comparison presented by Ram Trucks. Charles?
NFL player comparison, actually, interestingly enough, is Larry Fitzgerald. I have him compared more to Mike Evans myself. I think he's a bigger guy, really good hands, great contested catch, good speed. But yeah, I mean, if you're comparing this guy to Larry Fitzgerald, he must have done something right because Larry's a top 5 wide receiver in NFL history. Again, great top 8 so far. It's actually playing out really well for the Lions. I know they don't pick again for 30-something picks, but at the end of the day, they have 2 players on the board still that I would still consider taking at 32, or that I would consider taking at number 2, that being, of course, Kyle Hamilton, and all the way down here at pick 30, or 30 overall, being Malik Willis. If you're talking about guys to go off the board that I was really hoping the Lions could get, Trayvon, obviously not. I've talked about Trayvon enough. I wasn't really, not that I wasn't a big fan, but for the Lions, I wasn't a big fan of Derek Stingley nor Sauce Gardner. Just positionally, I don't think that would have been maximizing the pick. KT, obviously, but we got our boy in Hutch. Ike McQuana, we didn't need a tackle. Evan Neal, we didn't need a tackle. Drake London, sure, would have been a great pick. Said he wanted to go to Detroit. But, so far, there's only really been 2 players to go off the board that I really would have wanted for the Detroit Lions, and one of them went to Detroit. Or I guess 3, and one of them went to Detroit, being Hutch, KT, and Drake London. Charles Cross, I wouldn't be a big fan of. Jameson Williams, I think he'd be a good selection, but he's not my wide receiver when he's not what I would be looking for in a wide receiver. But he'd certainly still be on the board if I wanted him. Or if he'd still certainly be on the board if he was there. So you have Kyle Hamilton, Jameson Williams. I'd take Garrett Wilson at 32. I'd take Devin Lloyd at 32. I would take Devontae Wyatt at 32. Nakobe Dean, Jordan Davis, Chris Olave I would take as well. Lewis Sine I would take at 32. George Pickens, Malik Willis. If Jermaine Johnson's there at 32, I think there's maybe there's a chance. Treylon Burks is still an option. You have, some really quality players, I would say. Some really, really quality players. The pick is in for the Seattle Seahawks. That should be coming up very soon. You're talking wide receivers alone. Williams, Wilson, Olave, Pickens, Burks. You have Watson down here. You have, Calvin Austin, who's very good. David Bell, who's down here, who's very good, right? There's a lot of wide receivers left. I think there's going to be a really good pickup for the Detroit Lions at pick 32. And right now, some of the top guys are continuing to fall that might have been on the Detroit Lions big board. So we're going to see. The pick is in for the Seattle Seahawks. And we're going to see. We're going to find out what it is going to look like right after this Pizza Hut break that nobody wants because we want to see the 9th overall pick. But yeah, if I had to guess with this one, QB's a big need. But I think with Charles Cross on the board, same thing with what happened with the Giants, same thing with what happened with Carolina. I think with Charles Cross on the board, a top tackle, somebody that you feel a little bit more confident in, somebody that you feel a little bit more confident about day one, I feel like Charles Cross was going to be the pick here. It makes more sense than Malik Willis. Malik Willis, again, he's the kind of guy that you swing for the fences and you either smash a home run or you strike out. And I don't think Pete Carroll's going to be looking to hit for the fences right now. I think he's going to look for the safe foundational piece. And that safe foundational piece, I think, is going to be Charles Cross, the tackle from Mississippi State. I didn't even realize the Seahawks finished 7-10 a season ago and still finished with a top 10 pick. If the Lions ended up finishing 7-10 with a top 10 pick, that might be the dream scenario. Obviously, winning the Super Bowl is a dream scenario, but that's a really, really, really distant dream. I think Charles Cross is going to be the pick here. The commissioner's coming out. Let's see what it is.
With the 9th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the Seattle Seahawks select Charles Cross, tackle
There you go.
Mississippi State.
Now, the commissioner said 2020. As we all know, it is the 2022 NFL draft class. Roger Goodell is not in his basement this year, thankfully, but Charles Cross is the pick, 6'4" and 3/4, 307 pounds, really good athlete, 90 overall by by PFF draft score with a 90 overall pick, 72 athleticism, and I believe it was in the high 80s for production. He's a great pass protector, not necessarily as great of a run blocker as the first two guys taken, which is why he's the second, but only allowed 2 sacks in 2021 on just under 700 pass blocking snaps in the SEC, one of the tougher divisions in college football. It's a really, really good pick. I like this pick for the Seahawks. Malik Willis continues to fall one more spot. He's definitely safe at the Jets. I think you can maybe see him going at the Washington selection, but I think that would also be a little bit of a far-fetched. Then you got a ways to go. I think you go until Pittsburgh, and if Pittsburgh doesn't take him, I think you're clean all the way through to Detroit. So yeah, I think he's got to get past Washington. And he's got to get past Washington, Texans, and Pittsburgh. And I think Malik Willis is ours at 32. But going back, thinking way too far ahead, going back to Charles Cross, he's smart, he's athletic, he is very, very technically sound in pass protection. Whoever the quarterback's going to be for Seattle next year, whether it's going to be Drew Lock, whether they're going to draft somebody on day 2, whatever the case is going to be, yeah, 86 production, 72 athleticism, 90 overall product, whatever the case is going to be, I believe Charles Cross is going to help the Seattle Seahawks be better next season than they were a season ago. 2021, first team all SEC, 2 sacks allowed in 2021 on 682 pass blocking snaps. He's not necessarily a lethal blocker. He's not necessarily, a devastating bulldozer in the run game, but he is certainly a guy that can move guys off the ball. He's certainly a guy that can get a little bit of movement, open up some holes in the run game. But you're going to get him for his pass protection. You're going to get him for his pass pro to help keep Drew Lock or whatever quarterback ends up under center for the Hawks next year. You're going to keep him clean, and I think it's going to work out really, really well. Now, actually, I'm kind of surprised, but also not really, that we haven't seen any trades so far in this draft class. I think that the Jets could be looking to trade down from number 10, maybe acquiring a little bit more. But I said that about Carolina and they picked. I said that about a couple other teams and they all picked. So, hey, we're going to keep moving on. 4 minutes and 10 seconds at the most until the Jets take a player at number 10. And the pick is in. They do not trade this pick away. If I had to take a guess, I'm going to go with Garrett Wilson, the wide receiver from Ohio State. My wide receiver 1 on the board has every single tool to succeed in the NFL. The Jets need a wide receiver to give Wilson some help. They got him. They went Sauce Gardner, pick number 4, got defensive help. Now you got to get Zach Wilson, your number 2 investment from a season ago. You got to get him some weapons. What was his name? Wears number 8 on the Jets. His last name is Moore. Elijah Moore was a very good rookie. I think pairing him with Garrett Wilson and Corey Davis would give Zach Wilson a pretty solid foundation. I think would give him a very solid receiving trio to throw to. I think that Garrett Wilson's the pick here. Him or Jameson Williams. But I'm going to go wide receiver. 7 interceptions in 2021, fewest by the New York Jets. That's why they addressed Sauce Gardner at number 4, negative 13 turnover differential, 29th in the NFL last season were the New York Jets. They addressed defense pick 1. I don't think they're going to address defense 2 picks in a row. They need somebody to get Zach Wilson some help. All the top tackles are gone. All the top edge rushers are gone. I think that it's going to be Jameson Williams or it's going to be Garrett Wilson. If I had to pick, I'd go Garrett Wilson. But I think that Jameson Williams is also a very, very possible addition for the New York Jets at pick number 10. So we are going to see the commissioner is walking out onto stage. We're going to see what the Jets do at pick number 10.
With a New York Jets select Garrett Wilson,
All right.
wide receiver, Ohio State.
There we go. There we go. Garrett Wilson and comes off the board at pick number 10. We talked about it for, pretty much all night. Garrett Wilson, you give Zach Wilson help. You give Zach Wilson his number one weapon. Garrett Wilson, in my opinion, was the number one overall wide receiver in this class. He's a great route runner, has great hands, was a second-team AP All-American, which might not sound as impressive as some of the other guys that have been unanimous first teams and all Big Tens and stuff like that. Garrett Wilson was not the most productive player in college football because he played alongside Chris Olave and Jackson Smith-Njigba at Ohio State. The ball had to go somewhere. It wasn't always going to go to Garrett Wilson. It was going to go to Darrell Henderson. Not Darrell Henderson. It was going to go to number 32, Trayvon Henderson from Ohio State. It was going to go to Chris Olave. It was going to go to Jackson Smith-Njigba, who very well may be drafted higher than both of these wide receivers this year from Ohio State. But Garrett Wilson was my wide receiver one. He has great hands, great route running, great body control. He's even got a lot of run after the catch ability as well. Ran a 4.37 at the combine, which is something I personally did not expect out of him. He's the best and most well-rounded player, in my opinion, in this draft class. But, he goes as the second wide receiver taken. I think the Jets get an amazing value here. I think they get an amazing value for Garrett Wilson. He high points the ball so incredibly well. He's just a special football player. And if he didn't play at Ohio State, if he played at Alabama and was the true number one weapon, if he played at Georgia and was the true number one weapon, if he played at, any of the top schools that didn't happen to have two or even maybe 3 to 4 other future first round wide receivers on their draft boards or on their rosters, you might very well see Garrett Wilson be the number one wide receiver. You might very well see Garrett Wilson be a first-team All-American. But because he was playing with at least 2 more first-round picks in front of him, being Chris Olave and Jackson Smith-Njigba at Ohio State, with Julian Fleming potentially being a first-round pick in a couple of years, with number 12 being a potential first-round pick in a couple of years from Ohio State, with Marvin Harrison Jr. potentially being a top pick in a couple of years. The Ohio State Buckeyes had arguably the best. The Saints trade up. I totally missed this when I was talking about Garrett Wilson. I think if Garrett Wilson plays anywhere else, he's an easy number one wide receiver in this class. That's all I was trying to get at. The Saints packaged some deals to move up. I don't know what the thing is yet. I'm going to try to find the exact details so I can make this trade happen in the mock. But we're going to find out. We're going to see. Let's see what happens. Good water. Aidan Hutchinson, baby. Let's go. One pride. Yeah, very excited with the Hutchinson pick. I think it's a great pick. We got to find out what the Saints just gave away in order to move up. We're going to find out. We're going to see. I'm just refreshing Twitter, trying to find what these trade details are. I'm sure the trade details will pop up very soon, but Washington does not hold this pick. Washington does not hold this pick. New Orleans does. And New Orleans actually still has a second first-round pick in this class from what it looks like. It looks like Washington traded back to what they hold. They held the 17th overall pick, the 16th overall pick. 18. Yeah, the 16th overall pick. And, obviously something else to move up to number 11. We're going to see what happens. Who could the Saints move up for? I'm still a firm believer that the Saints are not going to go quarterback. I'm still a very firm believer in the fact that they like Jameis Winston, who put up 14 touchdowns to 3 interceptions a season ago. I don't think quarterback's on their board. Wide receiver, maybe they see a big drop-off in wide receiver. This could be for Jameson Williams. I think there's a really good shot that the Alabama product goes off the board here. Really the last of the big three wide receivers in this class, right? The big three being London, Wilson, and Williams. The latter or the former of the two just went in the last two of the last top 3 picks. The Saints might be getting nervous that, the Houston Texans could take a wide receiver, that Baltimore could take a wide receiver, that the Eagles could take a wide receiver. They want that top guy. I really firmly don't believe that they're trading up for a quarterback. I think that Jameson Williams was fine a season ago. I don't think their weapons were very good a season ago. I think this pick is going to be Jameson Williams, the wide receiver from Alabama. We are going to see. And as I said, I'm going to try to find the exact trading details for everybody. So let's see if we can find that. It just traded. The Saints are trading up to number 11. That doesn't really help me a whole lot. We're going to get the picks right. I promise. We're going to get it right by time it's all said and done. We won't go anywhere. We're not going to go forward until – okay, apparently the Saints are eyeing Chris Olave. That's interesting, according to NFL Rumors, which is admittedly not as reliable as you would think a Twitter page called NFL Rumors would be. Jack Johnson says, and the Lions go Christian Watson 32 or 34. It's definitely possible. It's certainly possible. Okay, so the Saints get the 11th overall pick in return for a 3rd and a 4th round pick. So we're going to go to trade. My team is the Commanders. The other team is going to be if we could find it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where is New Orleans? That's New York. That's New York. New England. New Orleans Saints hasn't been made yet. So they gave up the 16th pick, the 98th pick, and one more. I can't remember. I said it, and then I just really, really forgot what it was. And they, for the 11th, and then they got was it 120? I think it was a 4th. I want to say that's what it was. If not, we'll fix it by tomorrow, but at the very least, that puts the 1st round completely correct. And the Saints have traded up, and apparently they're looking at a wide receiver. NFL Rumors on Twitter has it as Chris Olave. I'm going to go on a limb and say it's Jameson Williams, the product from Bama. We are going to see. The Saints and Roger Goodell are walking out on stage now. Let's see what they got.
All 32 teams and their fans. We've got a similar time 2 weeks from tonight when we announce the 2022 schedule on May 12th.
Excited for that.
This year's schedule will have a new twist, as our Thursday night games will be carried by a new partner, Amazon Prime Video.
Interesting.
Joining me are Chargers and Chiefs season ticket members James Thibodeaux and Moose Phil. Also here is Pro Football Hall of Famer Tony Gonzalez, who will be part of the Prime Video broadcast team.
That's cool.
Tony. Thanks, Roger. How's everybody doing? Everybody good? Good. Tell you what, I am excited to be part of this broadcast group for Amazon. You may recognize this guy right here next to me. He's going to be helping me make this announcement for the Prime Video, which will be airing on week 2 of the NFL season, September 15th. Los Angeles running back Austin Eckler. Huh? And I guess you can tell probably it's no surprise. The first game I'm going to kick it off is going to be out in Arrowhead on Thursday night.
What?
Against the Chargers.
The Lions have traded up?
And I'll tell you what, Austin.
I'm seeing on Twitter that they're trading up.
Look, It doesn't get much better than this. It doesn't get much better than this.
Who did they trade up with Minnesota?
Two high-powered teams battling it out. It's going to be epic. It's going to be an amazing thing. Even if you don't rock with the Chargers or Chiefs, I know you got me on your fantasy team, so there's no point in not watching. It's going to be awesome. I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to it. This rivalry goes back 62 years. You're not going to see every time these two teams get together, it's explosive. Fireworks,
okay.
touchdowns, great defense.
Apparently they've traded.
September 15th.
Apparently the Lions have traded the 32nd, 34th, and 66th pick to the Vikings for pick 12 and pick 46.
From 32, here we go. Minnesota and NFC North.
Interesting. Okay, we're gonna find out.
That's got to be a quarterback.
I hope it's Kyle
They
Hamilton.
were making calls to teams inside the top 10. That's what I heard before the draft.
Well, let's get the Saints pick first.
With the 11th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Chris Olave.
Ooh,
wide receiver,
very interesting.
Ohio State.
Very interesting. Okay. Okay. Chris Olave is the pick.
Michael Thomas is coming back this year. And
The Lions.
And Thomas will be there with
The Lions. Detroit is traded up. Okay, they gave up 32, 34, 36 for 12 and 46. We're going to offer this trade. It got accepted. Okay, the Lions are on the board. This can only be one of two players. This can only be Kyle Hamilton or Malik Willis. That's all I can think. All I can think. I don't know. I don't like that we gave up 66. But it's going to all depend on who we walked out with. It's going to all depend on who we draft here. If it's Kyle Hamilton, I'm going to be so happy. If it's Malik Willis, I'm going to be happy as well. Oof. I'm really nervous. Oof. I like Brad Holmes being aggressive. I really like it. Can we get the number one safety and the number one edge in this class? Ooh, I'd be very excited. And 46 is still a great range for George Pickens and Christian Watson.
So they're confident. They think they can win this division. That's why they wanted a couple key players. Chris Olave.
I like Chris Olave. Chris Olave going top 11. That makes sense. Silky smooth, route tempo. Yeah, great player. Guys, Detroit is on the clock. Detroit is on the clock. Oh, I'm so excited.
Second gear, once the ball goes up in the air, he can really go get it. The route running polish, you can make it.
Detroit was on the clock for approximately 1.3 seconds. That's insane. Please be Kyle Hamilton. Please be Kyle Hamilton. Please be Kyle Hamilton. Or Malik Willis. Either one, 100% good with. Please. God, I'd be so happy.
Made a bunch of big plays. I remember him getting on the field against Michigan as a freshman. I think Joel Klatt might have been
Come
there
on.
blocking a punt.
Yeah. Come on. The Saints made their pick. It's fine. It's Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, whatever. Get to the Lions pick. I want to see who they're going to pick. I'm so excited. And they still have another top 50 pick, so I'm not too upset about it. 2 top 15s. You give them that third for 46, but I'm not too upset about it. We'll see. If it's like, oh my God, if we draft like George Karlaftis, well, we won't because we drafted Hutch. I can only see this being a couple players. I'm going to turn the sound down, sorry. I can only see this being a couple of players. Kyle Hamilton, Devin Lloyd, or Jordan Davis, or Malik Willis. It's one of the 4, in my opinion. Wow. I'm going to turn my phone away. I don't want to know spoilers. I don't want to see anything happen. I want to experience this live right here, right now. I've heard quarterback. I'm so excited. We're going to see. We are going to see. I don't know how I feel about that 3rd round pick coming off the board at 66 overall, because now if you're the Detroit Lions, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You have 6 more picks, which isn't bad. You hold another 1st, a 2nd. You do still hold that 3rd at 97, a 5th, and 2 6ths. If they don't have bad drafting value right now, they still have 7 total picks, 4 inside the top 100, 2 inside the top 15. You do lose out on 66, but it isn't the worst thing in the world. It's not as bad as it could have been. With the division rivals, kind of crazy, but I like it. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. We're going to find out. We are going to find out. Okay. Yep. So the Lions get 12 and 46, and they go 32, 34, and 66. This has to be Kyle Hamilton or Malik Willis. It has to be one of those two. Guys that you're talking about taking number 2 overall, both fall out of the top 10, both fall out of the top 11. I don't think Malik Willis goes off the board unless you're thinking maybe Houston will take a quarterback. But if not, then you're not talking quarterback until 16, which makes me think Kyle Hamilton, because the Houston Texans and the Philadelphia Eagles and the football team, the Commanders, even I don't know. We're gonna find out. I'm really, really excited.
The Minnesota Vikings have traded the 12th pick to the Detroit Lions with the 12th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft. The Detroit Lions select Jameson Williams, wide receiver, Alabama.
So they moved 20 spots to take the Alabama Crimson Tide receiver.
How about the roller coaster ride that Jared Goff just went on right there, by the way? Thinking you might be bringing in a quarterback. No, we're going to bring in one of the most dynamic players in the entire draft.
Interestingly enough, using the pick that they got from the Rams to acquire Jared Goff and cough up Matthew Stafford.
Well, speaking of roller coasters, think about our discussions in the run-up to the draft. There aren't going to be any quarterbacks that go. Oh, we have to take quarterbacks. Oh, we're going to have a run of quarterbacks. Here comes a perfect quarterback spot. He doesn't go. I talked with someone with the Lions a couple of weeks ago. They wanted a big receiver because of Amon-Ra St. Brown. He played awfully well for him down the stretch. They just didn't want a little guy. Jameson Williams fits the bill.
All right, as you can see, there's not much hitch in his giddy up, certainly to go out and get his jersey to join the Detroit Lions. Joel Klatt, take it away.
Well, I just love that he took his future into his own hands, guys. Remember, he was the clearly 4th wide receiver at Ohio State.
Okay. That's a pick. That's certainly a pick. I don't dislike it. That's my initial reaction. My initial reaction is shock, and I'm not sure. If Jameson Williams is if he's the guy that came out of Alabama last year, I don't dislike the pick. If he's that, over the top game breaker, if he is your I'm trying to think. If he's your Jalen Waddle, then I really don't dislike it. I really, really don't. I just wow. I'm shocked. I'm genuinely shocked. I don't even know what to think. I think he fits exactly what the Lions want. I think he 100% fits what the Lions want. Big, fast, route runner, yard after the catch. I mean, I really don't dislike the pick. He's going to be an immediate starter, I would assume. Right? Because you have obviously DJ Chark as your 1. Jameson Williams probably as your 2. And then St. Brown as your 3 with Josh Reynolds as your 4, Cephas as your 5. Wow. I want to hear this. Hold on.
Suffering that injury in the national championship game, and now the Detroit Lions move up to pick you in this draft. What's going through your mind?
A lot. Honestly, we ain't gonna speak on that, but I'm just ready to get to work,
How are you health-wise? How's the knee?
Everything going good. I'm getting back to it. Should be back soon.
All right, a man of few words. It's a big night for you. Congratulations.
Yeah. And he's off to Detroit. Nicely done right there. All right, so the Eagles traded up 2 spots. Their pick is now.
I really wish it was Kyle Hamilton. But Jameson Williams is not a bad player. As you heard, the Eagles did trade up with the Texans. They moved up 2 spots. When we get that, we were going to find out. So the Lions are going to walk out of round 1 with Hutch and Williams. It's certainly an interesting draft class. Not a bad one. It's not at all a bad one. Well, I am at a loss for words. I'm going to need to collect myself tonight and talk about this tomorrow. Now, what I will say is the Detroit Lions, where are we? Let's see. The Detroit Lions do pick again at 46. So they do pick relatively high on day 2. And they have 2 picks on day 2, a second and a third round pick. I don't know. Because if you're okay. So I guess here's your reasoning for the wide receiver. Houston could have taken one. Baltimore could have taken one. Philly could have taken one. The Chargers could have taken one. Wow. Just wow. Wow. I think this pick is Kyle Hamilton. The pick is in for the Philadelphia Eagles. When I get confirmation on what the trade is going to be, we're going to put it in. Wow. I'm genuinely shocked. I want to see the reactions on Twitter. I want to see the storm. I want to see what's going on. Before I read anything, I'm not mad about this pick in any way, shape, or form. I don't know. Didn't expect to trade up for a wide receiver. Tell me about him. How should I feel? Is everybody okay? I mean, the only thing that scares me is the ACL tear, but if he's expected to come back fully healthy, then he's going to be a good player. I mean, the analysts seem to like it. I don't dislike it. I mean, the only thing I would say is if you could have gotten a 4th round pick, maybe. If you could have gotten a 4th out of the Vikings. But I'm not mad at it. I'm really not. I think it's a good pick. I don't think it's as good as what Kyle Hamilton could have been. I don't think it's even as good as what Devin Lloyd could have been. But I like the pick. I really do. Now the Eagles are on the clock. Again, when we see the official thing, I'm going to move it over. I'm still at a loss for words. If it was Kyle Hamilton, I would be jumping up and down. And I feel like that's going to make me look at it negative. So Eagle, 15-4 and 2 5s. Okay. 15. Okay, so we have the Eagles. I've already lost the trade in my mind. I can't even focus on anything right now. Where is the P for Philadelphia? That's Pittsburgh. Oh, Philadelphia is the second one. So they gave up that for that. They also. All right, we're gonna get it right. I promise. Let's listen to the pick.
Joining me for the Eagles pick are 6 high school tackle and flag football captains from teams across Clark County and Las Vegas. They truly exemplified the NFL's values of respect, integrity, resiliency, and responsibility to their teams. Congratulations to all of you on your accomplishments, and good luck on the upcoming season.
Thank you, sir.
Good luck. The Houston Texans have traded the 13th pick to the Philadelphia Eagles. With the 13th pick,
I'm gonna guess Kyle Hamilton.
NFL draft, the Philadelphia Eagles select Jordan Davis.
Wow.
Defensive tackle, Georgia.
Wow.
The big Georgia Bulldog.
Okay.
Lit it up at the combine. I mean, was just
Okay.
absolutely fantastic. Moving around and showing
Let's
what
see.
he can do for a man
Eagles,
his size and frame.
Texans.
Draft that started with 5
I just want to make sure I'm
defensive
getting the
players. That
numbers
just ended a
right.
run of 7 on
I guess it doesn't
offense.
necessarily matter
As
right
the
now.
Eagles trade up to jump in front of the Ravens and take Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis and Mailata.
Wow. Okay. So the Eagles give up 15, 124, 162, and 166 for pick 13. Trade offer got accepted. And with that selection, they take Jordan Davis from Georgia. I don't dislike it. I mean, I think it's a good pick. I think it kind of goes back to the Eagles' Super Bowl roots. Jay Ferguson says almost single-handedly dismantled the great Georgia defense in the SEC championship game. That is true. That is true. I really like the wide receiver core right now. I genuinely am very happy with the wide receiving core. I think I'm always going to be a little upset that it wasn't Kyle Hamilton, who is still on the board at 14. But it's not a bad pick. I'm sorry if you were expecting me to go to like the Eagles pick. I'm so shocked. I'm so in shock for the Jameson Williams selection. I was not ready for the Lions to trade up. Wow. Now, could you imagine if they traded up again? And they were just like, Kyle Hamilton falls to like the second. They're like, hey, we'll package our 97 and 66. We'll up to 33 and take Kyle Hamilton top of day 2. That'd be pretty wild. Wow. Well, I think that we saw the Brad Holmes aggression come through. I think we did. All right, let's move on to the Eagles pick. Hashtag fly, Eagles fly. I think Jordan Davis is a good pick. I think Jordan Davis is a great pick, in fact, for the Eagles. Like I said, they're going back to their roots. They're getting great defensive line play, which is what won them Super Bowl 52. An elite pass rush got to Tom Brady. An elite pass rush won them the NFC Championship. An elite pass rush is what won them the Super Bowl. They want to get back to that. And with all the top wide receivers off the board, all the top weapons gone, Jordan Davis makes a lot of sense. Jordan Davis makes a ton of sense for the Philadelphia Eagles. Wow. Okay. Some people are not very happy with the Williams pick, and I understand that. But Wow. Okay. I'm going to go back to Williams one more time. Jameson Williams, initial thought is a B. Is a solid B. I like the player. I like what we're looking at on offense. I'm not a fan of everything we gave up to get him because I think Christian Watson is still available at 32. I think that George Pickens is still available at 32 if you wanted a wide receiver high. But the player in a vacuum was realistically a top 10 pick. And you get him at 12. You add him to a wide receiving core that needed a speedster, that needed a deep threat. And at the end of the day, I think Chark and Williams and St. Brown with Swift and Hutchinson are a very good wide receiving group for Jared Goff or the next quarterback. Now, Leaf Brown missed the trade. The Detroit Lions traded up to the 12th overall pick from the 32nd pick. They moved up 20 spots to select Jameson Williams, the wide receiver from Alabama. They gave up the 32nd pick, the 34th pick, and they gave up the 66th pick in the NFL draft. Now, the reason that I give this pick a B is because Kyle Hamilton's still on the board, is because Christian Watson is still on the board. I'll get back to it after. We're going to get to pick 14. It's a B. It's a B pick. It's a good pick, not a great pick.
Here's the Ravens pick.
With the 14th pick in the 2022
Devontae Wyatt, maybe?
draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Kyle Hamilton,
Good pick.
defensive back, Notre Dame.
Good pick.
All right, Kyle
Good
Hamilton.
pick. I think the Lions are going to regret passing on Kyle Hamilton. I really do. But they gave up pick 32, 34, and 66 in order to receive 12. And they also got back pick 46. So the Lions now have 7 picks in the class, 4 inside the top 100, 2 inside the top 15. They use it on Hutch and Jamo. This class is not what I thought it would be. This class is not at all like last year's class. And maybe it'll make more sense as we move down the board. But I know like Andrew's very upset right now on Twitter. Andrew's not very happy. We're going to ignore Twitter. The Lions right now do not have that poor of a roster. And I think a lot of people, Lions fans in particular, have them slated as a sleeper team next year. I think you give Jared Goff, DeAndre Swift, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Chark, Jameson Williams, Josh Reynolds, Quintez Cephas, TJ Hutchinson with a top 5 offensive line in football. That offense can be potent, and that offense, especially under the guidance of Ben Johnson, can absolutely put up a ton of points and be a very potent offense next year. You look at defense, and your defensive line looks like Aidan Hutchinson, Romeo Okwara, and Charles Harris as your primary edge rushers, with Aleem McNeil, Michael Brockers, and Levi Onwuzurike as your defensive tackles. That is not a bad defensive line. Your linebackers look like Alex Anzalone, Derek Barnes, and Jared Davis, as well as Anthony Pittman, which, again, I am not upset about. I think that is a decent starting 3 at linebacker. In your secondary, looks like Amani Oruwariye, Jeff Okudah, A.J. Parker, Mike Hughes, Ifeatu Melifonwu, Jerry Jacobs, and Will Harris. And then your safeties, of course, are Deshaun Elliott and Tracy Walker. If I'm the Detroit Lions, I'm happy with how this pick turned out. Now, the man 2033 says he could have been the first wide receiver off the board if he had not got hurt. Let's wait and see what we draft in second and third. We could still get a great safety there. That is true. And that's what my next point was going to be. As the Houston Texans have put in the 15th overall pick, and we will get there in just a moment. Jay Ferguson says the new offensive coordinator is excited. I bet Ben Johnson's ecstatic right now. I bet he's so excited for Jameson Williams. But like I said, I don't dislike it because I can see where they're going. It looks like the Ravens moved up to 23, gave away Marquise Brown and a third-round selection. So we're going to go do that. We're going to go okay, well, we can't do that yet, but when we get there, we will get there, I promise.
Select Kenyon Green, guard, Texas A&M.
Okay, so the Texans take Kenyon Green. The Texans, we got to scroll for a bit. The Texans take Kenyon Green, Texas guard from Texas A&M. Again, good pick. Protect your quarterback. Do what you got to do. I like it. All right. This is where I'm at with the Lions. The offense looks really good. The defense was kind of completed in free agency. Aidan Hutchinson, I think, completes the pass rush. Jameson Williams, I think, completes the wide receiving core. I think the only real need the Detroit Lions have at this point in the draft is quarterback, backup quarterback, safety 3 and 4. I'd say you can draft 2 safeties. Safety 3 and 4, maybe linebacker 3, and that's it. That's really it. And at that point, if your biggest needs going into day 2 of the draft are safeties 3 and 4, linebackers 3, and backup quarterback, you're in a decent spot. You really are. You really, really are. Because Lewis signed, although I don't think he'll be available at 46, Kyle Hamilton fell farther than I thought he was going to. So maybe Lewis signed. If Lewis signs there at 46, I'm taking that. Tight end 2 is also an option. Very true. I'm taking Lewis sign. You want to go down the board? I'm taking Kirby Joseph at 97. I'm taking JT Woods. I'm taking Verone McKinley as my starters. Sterling Weatherford got talk about being a potential Kyle Hamilton clone that nobody's talking about that you might get in the 5th round. Smoke Monday. Bubba Bolden. There's quality safeties. If you want to talk, as the Washington Commanders have made their selection at pick 16, and we will get to in just a minute. If you're talking to me about what players and what safeties could start for the Detroit Lions next year as a coverage safety, I'm thinking Lewis Sign. I'm thinking Kirby Joseph. I'm thinking Nick Cross, JT Woods, Verone McKinley, Sterling Weatherford, maybe Smoke Monday. So what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys, 6 guys left on the board that I would realistically feel okay starting at starting safety. You want to go to linebacker? You want to just linebacker? This draft is super deep at linebacker. Brian Amosa is going to be there tomorrow. Chad Muma, Christian Harris, Channing Tindall, Brandon Smith, Damone Clark might even go undrafted. There's a ton of good linebackers left. A lot. Nefe Sewell will go late day 3. There's a lot of good linebackers left. I just don't want to miss the pick. You're talking about tight end 2. Tight end 2. Jelani Woods won't go until probably late day 2, early day 3. Jeremy Rucker might go day 3. Chigakonkwo might go day 3. Connor Hayward might go undrafted. Talking tight end 3. That's not that bad. If you're talking, what was the other one you wanted to look at? So yeah, backup quarterback. Backup QB. Right now, a single QB has not been selected. Not one. Malik Willis could fall. Sam Howell could fall. Desmond Ridder might get out of the first round. Kenny Pickett might. Matt Corral. Bailey Zapp on day 3. Brock Purdy in the 7th round. Jack Cohn in the 7th. Cole Kelly, undrafted free agency, would easily back up Jared Goff and be really, really good. Derek King, bring in a scrambling quarterback in UDFA. The Lions don't have that many needs left, guys. The Lions don't have that many needs. And that's why I like this pick. I actually thought the Lions had more needs than I thought. As long as the Detroit Lions address safety at some point on day 2, then I'm okay with it. As long as the Detroit Lions get one of Lewis Sign, let's go back up. As long as the Detroit Lions, okay, they haven't picked yet. As long as the Lions get one of Lewis Sign, Nick Cross, Kirby Joseph, JT Woods, or Verone McKinley in this class, I am going to be 100% okay with it. And in the hindsight, if they get one of those safeties, I might bump the Jameson Williams pick up to an A. I really, really might bump Jameson Williams up to an A because in a vacuum, he could have been the number 1 wide receiver in this class. In a vacuum, he very well could have been the most talented player, offensive player in the class that was left on the board. The Lions still pick at 46. You know what we're talking about at range 46? We're talking about, let's see, let's go down to 46. We're talking, I'll go down to PFF's 46. We're talking Brian Amosa. We're talking Matt Corral, Kenneth Walker. I'll get back to it in just a minute. I'm going to do this pick. I'm going to, obviously watch what they do. Roger Goodell's coming out on the stage. Let's see what he does.
As soon as he says the name.
With the 16th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Washington Commanders select Jahan Dotson, wide receiver.
Okay, good pick. I will be right back, guys. I have to run to the restroom really, really quickly, and then I will be back to talk more about Jameson Williams. I'll be right back. All right, we're back. Okay. Jahan Dotson goes at pick 16. I mean, I'd say arguably best player left on the board. Funnily enough, he's actually right at the top there when we started selecting. But, I mean, I think he's a good player. Is he the best wide receiver left? Not mine, but either. The argument could be made. Certainly be made. The pick is in for the Chargers. They're on the clock. I can't imagine them going anywhere other than tackle. I think it's going to be the tackle from UNI or the tackle from Central Michigan.
With the 17th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Los Angeles Chargers select Zion Johnson.
Okay.
Guard, Boston College.
Okay, so I was half right. They're going to go with an offensive lineman, but instead of addressing tackle, they're going to address the guard position with Zion Johnson at 17. It makes sense. Again, same mindset of keeping Herbert upright, same mindset of, keeping him up, keeping him throwing, and if Herbert's not on the ground, then he's probably winning you football games. Jay Ferguson says it's possible Williams was the Lions' #1 player on the board. That is true. That is very, very true. And like I said, the Lions, they don't need a whole lot right now, right? You're telling me the Lions have 5 more picks, and I do know that the Ravens made a trade. I just haven't quite gotten there yet because, well, they won't let me per se, unless I can I can't really do that. I can't decide what team. I can only trade what team's on the clock at the moment. So when we get there, we'll get there. But yeah. So first thing, I'm just going to keep talking about this Lions pick because this is really, really fascinating to me. The Lions depth chart right now looks like Jared Goff, who is a top 20 quarterback in the NFL, played really well at the end of the season under Ben Johnson. You give Jared Goff the weapons of DeAndre Swift and Jamal Williams in the run game, Amon-Ra St. Brown, DJ Chark, Jameson Williams, TJ Hutchinson as your starting receiving core, with Josh Reynolds and Quintez Cephas as your primary backups, not to mention Brock Wright, who had a very good year. Jason Kabinda is genuinely a pretty good weapon in the NFL, with a top 5 offensive line group if they're healthy. That sounds like an offense that can put up points to me. Defensively, your starting line, your starting front 7 likely, is Aidan Hutchinson, Michael Brockers, Aleem McNeil, Romeo Okwara, Jared Davis, as well as Derek Barnes. That would be my starting front 7, which is not a bad front 7. Now, the Titans trade up to pick 18. We're going to get out of that in a minute. And again, your backups to that are Charles Harris, who's coming off 7.5 sacks, second-round pick in Levi Onwuzurike, and probably some more additions in the draft. And as well as Julian Okwara, who could forget about that. Wow. Okay. Big trade here. The 18th third for A.J. Brown. So you're talking about the Titans. The Titans go 18 a third for A.J. Brown. Okay, let's find the Tennessee Titans. You're gonna go 18 and a third for A.J. Brown. Wow. That's a big one. It's a big one. So the Titans are on the board at 18. But yeah. So the offense is set. If the Lions don't touch offense again, except for maybe backup quarterback and undrafted free agency, I'm good. I'm good with what we have on the offensive side of the ball. These last 5 picks should be defense. Maybe one quarterback. Defense, quarterback. Maybe you get QB in UDFA. It's hard to say who's going to fall that far, but we're going to find out as day 2s and 3s go on. But your front 7 is pretty good. Your backups are Julian Okwara coming off a 5-sack season, Levi Onwuzurike, a former second-round pick who was getting into playing shape and was injured all season last year and still made some impact plays, and Austin Bryant coming off a 5-sack season. Your linebackers are former first-round pick Jared Davis, and a guy you traded up to pick up in Derek Barnes in last year's class, as well as Alex Anzalone, the captain of the defense last year. Your cornerbacks include the all-pro level of Tracy Wall, the all-pro level of Amani Oruwariye, the top-tier play of Jerry Jacobs from a season ago, as well as the top-tier slot play of A.J. Parker, with the upside that Ifeatu Melifonwu brings to your secondary, as well as what Jeff Okudah can be and what Mike Hughes is. The only hole on the defense right now, in my opinion, is another pass rushing interior defensive tackle, safety, and linebacker depth. And then we're good. So if you're telling me the Detroit Lions, let's say for argument's sake, the Lions go at 46. And to make it fair, I'm only going to look at players that can go after the 46th overall pick by PFF grades. You're telling me they go Brian Asamoah at pick 46. You're telling me at pick 97. You're telling me at pick 97, they pick up, I don't know, let's say Jelani Woods. Let's say Jelani Woods at 97. Actually, better yet, no, we already picked up a linebacker. Never mind. Never mind. Okay, so there's not a great pick here. So let's say 90. Let's go back. Let us go back. Have they picked yet? No. Okay. Let us go back to pick 46. Let's say at pick 46 that the Detroit Lions can pick up Lewis Cine. Let's say they get Nick Cross even. I'd be okay with that. So let's say the Lions somehow magically walk out with Lewis Cine, who, to be fair, safety is not super overvalued. I don't think safety goes again in this first round. The Jaguars probably don't take a safety. The Texans probably don't take a safety. The Jets probably don't take a safety. The Giants don't take one. Panthers don't take. Well, Panthers don't pick again. I don't know exactly what the second round looks like. But there is a reality where Lewis Cine, just because of the safety position, does end up falling to pick 46. And if not, Nick Cross is certainly going to be there, who you could pick at 46, and I'd feel very comfortable. If not, maybe you wait till Kirby Joseph at 97. I think, okay, I missed the pick. I apologize. But Treylon Burks was the pick at what are we at? Treylon Burks was the pick at 18 to the Tennessee Titans. It makes sense to me. The Saints are back up on the clock. NFL Network breaking news. Is this going to be the trade? Yeah, okay. Oh, A.J. Brown agrees to a 4-year, $100 million contract extension with the Philadelphia Eagles. Very interesting. I would like to see a tight end too. I would as well. I think a backup tackle / guard could also be a need. I don't think so, especially not guard. Our guards are very good. Logan Stenberg and Evan Brown and Tommy Kramer are the backup interior linemen. I think that's a solid 3. You're not going to, I wouldn't touch that 3. But so I'm just going to scribble. I'm going to just scribble down some ideas really quick. So the Lions, just to help me keep it straight. So the Lions have pick 46, 97, 1 something. I wish it was just alphabetical. That'd be so much easier. Detroit. So they have 177, 181, and 217. If no more trades officially occur, we're looking at pick 46, either being Cine or Asamoah, I would say, are the 2 guys on the board right now. At 97, if you don't take Asamoah, I think that Brandon Smith or Channing Tindall are on the board. And if you don't take Cine at pick 46, I think Kirby Joseph is on the board. At pick 177, that's my JT Woods or Verone McKinley range. And if not that, then I don't know what you would pick. In your 181 range, I think this is where you start targeting maybe I mean, you could pick up realistically 2 safeties. I'd say defensive line at like the 180 range. Maybe you can look at Thomas Booker, Haskell Garrett. Where is the kid from Iowa State that had really good production as an interior pass rusher? I wonder if they have him as an edge. The pick is in for the New Orleans Saints. I just want to see if they have the guy I'm talking about. I can't imagine he'd be off the board entirely. Yeah, you're talking Uwazurike maybe at 181 as your interior pass rusher, and then at the end you're talking like a Hayward, maybe a Purdy or a Kelly. The draft is certainly not over. I mean, right now, I would say the Lions are off to a B+ start in this draft class. That's what I would give night one so far. But if you come away with, Sign, Smith, JT, Uwazurike, and Hayward, I'd consider that an A. If you come away with Asamoah and Joseph and McKinley and Booker and Purdy, I'm still feeling good about it. As long as they address the safety on day 2, with very well could be the wide receiver of last year, right? He could go Lewis Sign at 32. He could go this or that, or right. He could take whatever. He could take Jalen Waddle. He could take Jamar Chase. He could take, Devontae Smith. He could take this and that guy. Safety could be that position this year where it's like, okay, this is where we're going to take him. Just kidding. We're taking somebody different. This is where we're going to take a safety. Actually, we're going to take another wide receiver. We genuinely might not see safety go until 97 if we see a safety on day 2 at all. It's going to be really interesting. I really hope they address the safety position. But if the Lions ended this draft right now, like if they simply trade away all of their picks until 2023, I'm still giving this a B-, or not B-. I'm still giving this a B+, borderline A- range, because I think the picks have been good. I think the picks have been of quality. And I don't think Brad Holmes has missed on a pick. Now, obviously, we're going to see in the season. I don't think Brad Holmes has missed on a pick yet. But we're going to see. We're certainly going to see. All right. New Orleans is back up on the clock. I'm saying tackle.
Thank you to our U.S. Air Force service members and all those serving our great nation domestically and around the world. With the 19th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the New Orleans Saints select Trevor Penning.
Yep.
Tackle, Northern Iowa.
Yep. So tackle at number 19 for the Saints. That makes sense. They lost Teron Armstead. I think I actually got this pick right as well. They lost Teron Armstead to Miami. This pick makes sense, right? You got to protect your guy. You got to protect your blind side. I liked it. I like it a lot. I think it's a really good pick. I think the Lions. I think that they're getting a really good value. I would be shocked if Pittsburgh takes more than 2 minutes to make this pick. I think this pick's pretty clear. I think this pick is Malik Willis. They were talking him up so much during the draft, or during the pre-draft, during the Senior Bowl. He could still trade up again and target Walker. What linebacker Walker are you talking about? Linebacker Walker? Quay Walker? I would doubt it. I think if they're going Quay Walker, they might as well just stay put. My pick for this one, like I said, it's Willis, or my dark horse for this one is going to be Desmond Ridder from Cincinnati. I think both fit pretty well. I would say both fit really, really well. Detroit. I believe they're live streaming as well. I just want to see what's going on. Wow. I see where the Lions are going. I see what the Lions have going on, and I genuinely like the direction the Lions are going. The pick is in. They weren't on the board for very long. Yeah, they're on the board. This pick has to be a quarterback to me. They're a very well constructed roster. They are a super well constructed roster. I'll put my day 2 picks up here just in case, a little sticky note action like I'm back at college. I think it's Ridder or Willis. I think it's one of the two. Honestly, if Willis falls to like Cincinnati and like all the top offensive linemen are gone, would I even be that mad if the Lions like trade up and take Malik Willis at 31 and give up pick 66 or pick 46 and 97? No, like I wouldn't really be that mad. I really wouldn't be. But now, like, if he doesn't go here, I think you start talking realistic possibility of Malik Willis not going until the 40s, right? Because and this is a big if, but if the Steelers pass, all right, I'll get into the scenario if this ends up occurring, but if Malik Willis does not go here, there's a chance he might fall all the way to 46 to the Detroit Lions. I think I got a minute. So the Steelers pass, right? New England's not taking a QB. Green Bay's not taking a QB. Arizona, no. Dallas, no. Buffalo, no. Tennessee, probably not. I did get – okay, yeah, so Tennessee still holds 26. Tennessee, probably not. Bucks, no. Green Bay, no. KC, no. KC, no. No, and no. I don't know what the second round looks like, but you're obviously talking like Jacksonville's at the top. You're talking now Minnesota's back at the top at 32 and 34. You're talking right, like the Giants are up. The Giants probably won't take him. There's a possibility, and I'll go over this possibility maybe tomorrow. But there's a possibility the Lions still walk away with Malik Willis. There is a possibility the Lions still walk away with Malik Willis. We're going to finish up the first round. Brad Holmes might not even be done yet tonight. We're going to have to wait and see. They obviously missed on Hamilton, which is sucky. But this is a deep safety class. It's a good safety class. So we're going to find out how this goes. We're going to look at where they're going. And we're going to see. We're going to see. If Sign's on the board, I take Sign. If Joseph's on the board at 97, I take Joseph. That 177 spot I have locked in as a safety, whether it be JT or Barone. I think you could take a safety with the next 4 picks. Like, realistically, any of the next 4 can be safeties. Let's see what happens. Let us see what happens. The pick is in for the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to see. We're going to see.
There's a lot of intrigue. The commissioners hear this. Franco Harris wondering if there's a quarterback on that card in the commissioner's left hand. Showing it to Franco. Seen it first. Does Franco approve?
This season marks the 50th anniversary of one of the most memorable moments in NFL history. During the final seconds of the 1972 AFC divisional game, Franco Harris made an improbable catch known as the Immaculate Reception. He here with us tonight to celebrate the 50th anniversary of that moment and to announce the pick for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Please welcome Pro Football Hall of Famer Franco Harris.
I can't wait to
Yeah,
hear
let's
what
see
the
it.
reaction was upon seeing the name
Let's
here.
see it. Is it Willis? Is it Ritter? We're to find out. So blown away by that trade.
This is great.
Wow. I love this. I love this.
Okay.
With the 20th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft,
Desmond Ritter.
the Pittsburgh Steelers select Kenny Pickett.
Okay.
Wow.
Pittsburgh. Yeah.
Okay.
So it is.
Welcome to the Pittsburgh.
It is a quarterback. The first quarterback taken off the board tonight is Kenny Pickett. Pittsburgh to Pittsburgh, staying a Steeler. I don't dislike this pick. Kenny Pickett was my third quarterback in the class. I had him below Malik. I had him below Desmond Ritter. But that does not mean I think he's a bad quarterback. Second team AP All-American selection for 2021. Obviously led Pittsburgh to a huge bowl berth. Sat out the bowl game and didn't play, so they lost to Michigan State. ACC Player of the Year. Most wins by a Pittsburgh team since 1981. I believe finished fourth in the Heisman voting. Single season ACC record for passing touchdowns, fourth most in FBS history. 4,000 yards, again, school record. He's a good football player. And like I said before, when you're talking about Kenny Pickett maybe going to Carolina, he's going to be a good football player for a very long time. I'm talking day one, Kenny Pickett's going to come in as a top 20 quarterback in the NFL. You're talking year 10, Kenny Pickett's going to be a top 15 quarterback in the NFL. I don't think there's a ton of room for growth, but I also think he's the highest ceilinged quarterback in this entire class. He has the most experience. He's got a good arm. He's got some playmaking ability. He can extend some plays. He played against some decent competition. I mean, Clemson, although they had a down year, that defense was still top 10 in the country. And he dialed it up against them. I mean, the Tar Heels, not a bad football team, outdueled Sam Howell and those guys. Like, he's got good accuracy. He's got good arm strength. He's got some playmaking ability. He has some legs. It's a good pick. I really like the pick. Would I have taken Kenny Pickett? Probably not. But the pick's a good one. I like the pick for Pittsburgh. I guess all the Malik Willis talk was really for show. I guess it was quite simply to get Kenny Pickett to fall to number 20. They had their pick of any quarterback they could ever want. And Kenny Pickett from Pittsburgh is your guy. Ignore the PFF grades. PFF grades are not very good. Wow. I am shocked. I am genuinely surprised that Kenny Pickett is the 20th overall pick. Not as shocked as Jameson Williams. All right, the Chiefs actually now trade up. The Chiefs trade up with New England. The Chiefs hold pick number, 21. It looks like the New England Patriots move back to pick, what is that, 29? We're going to make this trade in just a minute. KC moves up. Yep, KC moved up. KC now sits at 21. Let's see what they're going to do. KC, if I had to guess, I'm going to guess Christian Watson. If I had to guess, I'm going to say Christian Watson. Big, fast guy. I'm going to stick with my pre-draft prediction. I think Christian Watson ends up as a Kansas City Chief. I think it works the best. Defensive ranking 27th. Maybe they're looking at Karlaftis. Maybe they're looking at Trent McDuffie. Maybe they're even looking at Devin Lloyd potentially. Devontae Wyatt's a guy. Nakobe Dean. Andrew Booth. But if I had to guess, based simply and solely off of the loss of Tyreek Hill and Byron Pringle, I'm going to guess that this is the best athlete on the board at wide receiver. And that far and away is Christian Watson. I'm still not convinced the Lions are done tonight. I don't think Malik Willis is a first round pick anymore unless the Lions trade up to get him. I really, really don't. First quarterback drafted 2018, Baker at first, 2019, Kyler Murray at first, 2020, Joe Burrow at first, 2021, Trevor Lawrence at first, and at 2022, Kenny Pickett at the 20th overall selection. It's quite a drop-off, I will say. Now, the Chiefs finished 29th in sacks last year. So I think George Karlaftis is certainly on the board. They lost their top corner. So Andrew Booth and Trent McDuffie are still very much on the board. But if I'm the Chiefs, knowing that, I could get probably one of those guys at 30, I'm taking my guy. I'm taking Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State. Big, fast, freaky athlete. It's going to be something special. I'm Salty says, I can see the Patriots taking Devin Lloyd. The Patriots are no longer on the board. They traded that pick with Kansas City. And we're going to see what Kansas City does right here.
The New England Patriots have traded the 21st pick to the Kansas City Chiefs. With the 21st pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select Trent McDuffie, defensive back, Washington.
So they go defensive back.
Okay, this was one of the things that we potentially thought might be coming. Trent McDuffie, 5'10" and 3/4, right around 5'11". Good football player. We go to trades. We're gonna go to Kansas City. Kansas City, pick 29. Kansas City Chiefs gave up pick 29, pick 94, and pick 121 to move up to pick number 21. We're going to force the trade because it happened in real life. How could it not be realistic? And we're going to take Trent McDuffie, cornerback from Washington. Good pick, I think. 88.7 PFF coverage grade. 44.4 completion percentage allowed in 2020. Minimum of 30 targets. He's a really good player. And I think after losing Mike Hughes, I really think that this is a good one. I think this is a good pick for them. This says, please let the Packers F up. The Packers are not really in a great spot right now because if you look at wide receiver, like if they take Sky Moore, I'm not really that scared of Sky Moore. Like the only players I really don't want the Packers to take include Christian Watson and George Pickens, maybe Devin Lloyd or Tyler Lindenbaum, but I don't know. There's not really anybody that scares me. I don't think they're going to take a wide receiver here. I really don't. I just don't see it. Maybe Mechie. Mechie's a good route runner. It's possible for sure. Pick 22. The Green Bay Packers with the first of 2 first-round picks. We'll see what they do with it. They're on the clock. I think this could be any number of George Karlaftis, Tyler Lindenbaum, Devontae Wyatt, Sky Moore, George Pickens. I mean, it's the Packers, so maybe Malik Willis. You never know. The Packers are always a gem in this draft. But I'll tell you what, this draft's been very, very interesting. What do you think of what we did? I'm happy with what we did. The Aidan Hutchinson pick, it makes sense. Culture fit, scheme fit, high motor, good teammate, culture guy, build the culture. as far as that, he's the best pick. He's a great run stopper. He's a great motor. I'm actually really, really happy with what the Lions did at pick number 2. They traded up for Jamal Williams. No, they traded up for, what was it? It's not Jameson. Is it Jameson Williams? It is. They traded up for Jameson Williams. I just forgot the first name. Wide receiver from Alabama. I give that pick a B. I give Aidan Hutchinson an A, and I give Jameson Williams a B. So it's right in that B plus A minus range. That's right in that A plus B minus range of drafting so far. I give the Jameson pick a B. I don't like all of the assets we gave to move up. And I'm going to assume he's going to be healthy by either the start or like first month. We're going to see what the Packers do here, and I'm going to keep going. Anybody but Christian Watson. Anybody but George Pickens.
The Green Bay Packers select Quay Walker, linebacker, Georgia.
All right, so another Bulldog goes off the board.
I can live with Quay Walker. I can live with that. I don't think the Packers maximized this pick very well. If you're going to go linebacker, go Devin Lloyd. I don't think the Packers picked very well here, but hey, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, as far as the Williams, I like it. I like that we got a second-round pick back. I'm not a big fan of giving up that 66. Like if it was 32 and 34 for 12 and 46, then I'd like it a lot more. But knowing that the Lions have a third-round conditional pick from Kenny Galladay, knowing that they have still 46, which is a relatively high day 2 pick, I'm not upset with it. If I'm grading round 1 in a vacuum, I'm giving it a B plus right now. If you're telling me the Lions walk away tomorrow with Lewis Sign and Channing Tindall, then I'll give it an A minus. If you're telling me the Lions walk away with Brian Asamoah and Kirby Joseph, or JT Woods or Verone McKinley, if they walk away with any of the big 4 safeties left on my board, being Sign, Joseph, JT, or Verone, then I'm giving it an A minus. And I think they will. I trust Brad Holmes. I trust what he's doing. I'm really, really happy with it. I'm saying I want to see if he keeps his speed after the injury. I think he will. ACL is not like the big injury it was anymore. Like it used to be really, really bad. But now you're talking like, a year, not even a year. You're talking like, 7 months for a recovery, right? George Pickens tore his ACL in the spring and returned by the winter, right? He tore his ACL during spring games. So like during April and returned for the national championship in January. Like, I mean, you're talking, a 7-month recovery? 7 months from now, not even now. 7 months from, okay, I was trying to do math in my head and talk at the same time. It didn't work. You're talking, right, George Pickens, spring ball to the national championship. Not even that. I'll say spring ball to the last 5 games of the season. Spring ball to December. I'll say spring ball to December. George Pickens is back on the field. You're giving Jameson Williams from January. You're giving him from January to September. 9 months to heal and get better. He should be 100% by the time the NFL draft kicks around. Like, you've already seen videos of his recovery. He seems already a little bit better. He seems like he's moving all right. If he fully recovers and keeps the same speed, I really like it. I think it's a risky pick because there's always that chance that he won't be the same. But I'm going to assume, based off the fact that they drafted him and traded assets for him, that his medicals have cleared up and that they expect him to make a full 100% recovery with that game-breaking speed. And even if he's 90% of the player that he is next season, even if he's 90% of the guy he was at Alabama, that is still worth a 12th overall pick to me. He says, now we need to get a quarterback who can throw the deep ball. I don't think we're going to get it this year. I really don't. Ideal scenario maybe. Ideal scenario being like Willis falls to 46 and we get Willis, and then 97 you get like Joseph or Tyndall or Smith, and at 177 you get JT or McKinley. I'd be okay with that if we got like Willis plus a starting safety, then I'd be good. As long as we get that starting safety, I'm okay with whatever. Like at this point, starting safety is the only thing that I think the Lions have left to address until this team is ready to compete. And that might sound crazy to say, but I don't think it's that outlandish. All right, so we didn't actually make the pick yet. We're going to go linebacker. First linebacker off the board. We're going to go down to the fourth linebacker on their list. Quay Walker is their guy. The pick is in for Georgia. I thought it was George Karlaftis for a minute. It's not. They just were showing footage of him. We're going to try to find out what the Bills gave up. They moved up with, I thought Baltimore moved up with this pick. No? I thought Baltimore traded to pick 30. Okay. So Baltimore did trade up, and then they traded back. So we're going to have to look up Baltimore Cardinals trade. Adds a first-round pick. Okay, so we're going to go back. We're going to trade. We're going to go to the this is a wild one. Baltimore Ravens first. Baltimore Ravens first. They gave up they have the 100th overall pick, as well as Marquise Brown for pick 23. We're going to accept that. And then the Baltimore Ravens at this pick are trading to the Buffalo Bills. They haven't made the pick yet. Still got time. Now we're going Baltimore, Buffalo trade. What did the Bills trade? Bills announced team was traded for. That doesn't help me.
With the 23rd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Buffalo Bills select Kaiir Elam, defensive back, Florida.
Okay.
Yeah, they need a
Good pick. I think top corner left on the board. I'd actually say second best. I take Andrew Booth over him, but still a very good player. Still a very, very solid guy. Okay. Bills Ravens trade. The Ravens send the 23rd pick to the Bills for their 25th and 130th. Okay. That's pretty easy. Okay, so we go Baltimore, Buffalo. You're taking 23 for 25 and 130. I'm thinking that's pretty good. Yeah. Okay, and then the Bills, they go arguably CB1 on the board, and they get Kaiir Elam from Florida. Okay. Just a simple 3-team trade in the NFL draft. We see this all the time. Now Dallas is on the board at 24. If I had to guess, I'm going to guess Devontae Wyatt or Devin Lloyd. But since they already have Vander Esch, I'm going to say Devin Lloyd's the pick here. But man, what a crazy first round. What an absolute wild first round. I don't even know what to say. Jermaine Johnson's still here. Jermaine Johnson might be the pick, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. Pass rusher from FSU. Put him as alongside Tank. replace Randy Gregory. I think Jermaine Johnson makes a lot of sense here for sure. I'm going to change my role. I'm going to change my thinking. I think Jermaine Johnson's the pick here at 24. Sorry, at 24. I think he's the pick. Yeah. So, wow, what a crazy, crazy, crazy first round. I mean, you start off with Trayvon Walker being picked number 1. Aidan Hutchinson goes number 2. 2 defensive backs go at number 3 and 4. KT, then the Panthers pass on a quarterback. Drake London's taken at 8. Garrett Wilson, Chris Olave. The Lions trade up and shock everybody with Jameson Williams. Kyle Hamilton falls to 14. John Dotson's a little bit of a surprise. I think that the AJ Brown trade was insane. Talking about Kenny Pickett, the Chiefs traded up. 3-way trade with Buffalo. Quay Walker to the Packers. Oh my goodness. Okay. Some craziness is going down. So the Bears don't have a pick. The Packers have one more pick in this class. I'm going to wait until the Packers select, and then I'm going to go over the entire division as a draft class as a whole. But so far, for the second year in a row, I think, and I feel pretty, Minnesota has to pick 2 at 32. But I'm going to say after day 1, for the second year in a row, the Detroit Lions won the division as far as drafting. Right? They picked up Hutchinson. They picked up Williams. The Packers got Quay Walker. They might pick up somebody else. And then, I'll have to wait and see for sure. We'll wait and see for whatever's going to happen. They haven't updated the list for, okay. Yeah, so your wide receivers are St. Brown, Shark, and Jameson with TJ and St. That's a good, it gives Goff a lot of weapons to be sure. Man, it's so crazy. It's such a wild draft. This pick has to be Jermaine Johnson. It has to be. I don't see it's Johnson or Devontae Wyatt. It has to be. That's their needs. That's where they are. That's what they lost. That's where I see them going. Wow. I know this is the most professional commentary, but it's just me. And I have so many thoughts going through my head right now about this class. All right, the pick is in for Dallas. They're picking at 24 again. I'm pretty confident it's going to be Jermaine Johnson. Was looked at as a potential top 10 pick in this class. Falls all the way to 24. You lose Randy Gregory to free agency due to poor contract negotiations. It makes the most sense. Right? You get arguably a top 4 pass rusher in this class. Maybe Arnold Ebiketie if they're really feeling Brett Coleman-y. Wow. A lot still to do. A lot still to do in this draft for the Lions and for everybody. But as far as I'll wait till divisional opponents right now, I give the Packers a C-. I don't think Quay Walker's a bad player per se. I don't think Quay Walker's a bad player at all. I just don't know I think you could have got better value out of pick 22. I think you got better value out of that. I'll give them a C-. I think it's a good athletic football player, but I don't even think Quay Walker was the best player on his own linebacking core. So there's that. But we're going to see for sure. We're going to see Quay Walker twice a season. I'll give that a C- right now. And I'll give the Lions a B+ right now. I don't think they're quite in that A range because I think there are better things they could have done. I think that Kyle Hamilton would have been better. I would have probably cried on stream if it was Kyle Hamilton. But let's see what the Cowboys do. Guess Jermaine Johnson.
To make that first-round selection, they earned for that in a moment. But first, the Cowboys.
With the 24th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Dallas Cowboys select Tyler Smith, tackle Tulsa.
All right, so they go offensive line.
Yeah, that was a need. I didn't know if it would be a tackle or interior blocker. That was my next.
Very, very interesting. Very interesting. Tony Holly in the building says, man, we could have had Hutch and Hamilton. Wow, still happy Jameson. That dude is super fast. The offense is going to be fast if it gets going. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Jameson Williams at his top is, I mean, easily a 4-3 guy. DJ Chark is a 4-3 guy. Raymond is, probably a 4-3 guy as well. St. Brown's your route runner. You got two. I'd say Jameson Williams is exactly what the Lions want. Big, fast route runner, yard after the catch. I think DJ Chark and I think Jameson Williams are going to be a really good 1-2 combo, super fast duo on the edge, on the boundary. St. Brown's going to do all the dirty work in the slot. He's going to not look like the prettiest wide receiver, not look like the flashiest guy. He's not going to get the big plays probably, at least not as often, but it's going to work. Certainly going to work. The Lions they're looking to win shootouts this year, right? They looked at, let's see, PFR. Let's just do Lions schedule. Okay. I looked up Lions. It gave me a team in like a low division of soccer. Detroit Lions schedule. Baltimore's on the clock at 25. We're going to update this pick. They went with the Tyler Smith. All right. Baltimore's on the clock. I'm looking at Detroit Lions record. Last season, yeah, I know it was 3-13. But this is where I think the Detroit Lions were in the mindset of, right? They're trying to win shootouts. Because they lost a shootout in week 1. They lost a shootout in week 2. They only gave up 19 points to Baltimore. So if they had even a little spark of offense in the first half, they probably would have won that game. They had no offense in the Bears game, which is why they started 0-4. They had very little offense until the end versus Minnesota. So if they had a little offense, they could have won that game. If you're looking at the Detroit Lions right now, right, Dan Campbell's looking at this team last year saying, we had the Ravens, the Vikings, the Steelers, the Browns, the Bears, the Cardinals, the Falcons, and the Falcons. We had 7 games where the opponent scored less than 20 points. 7 games. We won 2 of those games. No, we won 1 of those games. We won 1 of those football games. We need to start putting up some points. Is Baltimore made their pick? No, Baltimore's still on the clock. So if you're Dan Campbell, you look at those 7 games, you're saying those were 7 winnable games. We held the offense of the opponent under 20 points, and we couldn't capitalize and score more than 20. Give me a big play wide receiver. Give me Jameson Williams. You're talking about this receiving core now. If Jared Goff even plays like half the quarterback he did at the end of the season, we're going to start putting up some points. We're going to win some shootouts this year. And Aidan Hutchinson's going to help with the run defense. Aidan Hutchinson's going to help with, the defensive side of the ball in general. You give me a good coverage safety in rounds 2 or 3, or even both. I'd be okay with both. You're telling me you're giving me a big play weapon for my quarterback. You're giving me a great receiving core in general with 2 4-3 guys to go win you some football games. It can work. Jared Goff just has to play at the right level. If Jared Goff plays like his 2018 self, the Lions will win a lot of games. If Jared Goff doesn't play well, if they don't mesh as an offense, they're not going to win a lot of games. Let's see. Craziest draft I've watched in recent memory. Absolutely something crazy. All we need is a quarterback with a stronger arm. Jared Goff has a plenty strong arm. He just needs the confidence to go down the field. That's all he needs. He's got a decent arm. Like he really, really does. Carson Strong at 97. I hope not. What a wild run on wide receivers. Yeah, really, though. Why? I mean, crazy. Great spot for our guy, Kyle Hamilton, to land, by the way. He's going to kick butt with Baltimore. Happy for him. I'm happy for Kyle Hamilton. I'm just not happy with not getting Kyle Hamilton, if that makes sense. And it's nothing against Jameson Williams. He's a good player. You guys all know how I feel about Kyle Hamilton. I would have taken him at 2. You're telling me we traded up, we made the trade. Kyle Hamilton's there. He's right there for the picking. I don't know. We're going to see. There's a reason that I'm not a professional general manager. There's a reason I'm not. But, hey, who knows? Maybe the Lions aren't even done tonight. Maybe the Lions aren't done at 12. But so far, like I said, I'm giving this draft a B+. Maybe an A-. If the Lions draft a safety within the next 2 picks, I will give it an A-. If they draft 2 safeties, I'll give it an A. If they draft linebacker and tight end 2 or linebacker and backup QB, I'll give it an A. The Lions genuinely did not have as many holes going into this draft class as I thought, as a lot of people think. They don't have too many holes. As long as they address safety at least once, maybe twice, it will be all right. We'll be good. We will be good. So let's see. Pick is in for Baltimore. TBF PFF does this for a living and had Jahan Dotson down in the mid-40s or 50s range on their big board. He went top 15 or 20, i.e., you're doing just fine. I mean, everybody's got differing opinions. Hey. I also had Jameson Williams as a top. What did I have him as? If I go back to my pre-draft, I had Jameson Williams as the 10th overall pick going to the Jets. So get him in at 12 is technically a value pickup if you really think about it. But, I would say, last year we talked about the draft class being like, okay, Penei Sewell was tackle 1. Levi was arguably DT 1, and Aleem was nose tackle 1. And, you had all these guys, right? Ifeatu Melifonwu was arguably, a first-round cornerback in some people's eyes. We'll get back to this thought in a minute. Ravens are up.
With the 25th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Baltimore Ravens select Tyler Lindenbaum, center,
Okay.
Iowa.
Interesting. I actually had Tyler Lindenbaum like multiple weeks ago, going to the Ravens at 13 because I thought their interior offensive line could use some help. They haven't really been the same since Yonda left. And I like this pick. I like this pick a lot. I think it's a very, very good one. So I think Baltimore crushed this draft so far. Kyle Hamilton and Tyler Lindenbaum, knocked it out of the park. But going back to what I was saying before, we look at last year's class as Penei Sewell was tackle 1, Levi was DT 1, Aleem was nose tackle 1. If it was maybe not corner 1, but arguably a first-round corner in some people's eyes, you're talking about Amon-Ra St. Brown was the steal of the draft, and we're talking about Derek Barnes, who showed a lot in the preseason and honestly probably shouldn't have been there at 113, right? You're talking about getting 3 players that are arguably number 1 in their position and a bunch of value guys outside of that. And, hey, Baltimore always atypically a solid. Sorry, bad English, distracted over here. That's all right. No worries, man. But, you look at this draft, right, so far, 2 picks in, and they're right on par with last year. They got arguably the best tackle, or not the best. They got arguably the best edge rusher in Aidan Hutchinson. And they got arguably the best wide receiver in Jameson Williams if he's healthy. They're right on par. Right? You come back in 46, you pick up Lewis Sine, who is arguably a first-round pick, or you come back and get Devin Lloyd at 46 if somehow he just continues to fall. You get arguably the best linebacker. Like, they're still on pace with last year. Now the Jets, trade up to 26. They jump back into the first round, actually, after addressing Ahmad and Garrett Wilson. We'll see if we can find what this trade was all about. 26 currently was the Titans. Titans trade out, which makes sense because they already got their first round pick. Titans, Jets trade. The New York Jets are trading up to pick 26. I'm aware. Okay, so the Jets are on the clock now. We're gonna go New York Jets pick 35. Tennessee gave up 26, and they do not have 101. I must have messed something up in the trades. That's okay. We'll fix it by tomorrow. The only big thing for tonight is that we got somewhat close. They go 35, 69, and 163. We're gonna force the trade because apparently it's unfair. And no. Do not leave the site. Sorry, go back there. I mean, I don't know why they're waiting. They're still gonna get somewhere. Maybe Devin Lloyd. Potentially Devin Lloyd. Because they got Sauce, they got Sauce, they got Wilson. I'm gonna guess George Karlaftis maybe, or Devin Lloyd. I'm gonna guess one of those two. One of my favorite parts so far is the NFC North, not named the Lions, have only drafted one player, albeit a great one, in Quay Walker. I don't think Quay Walker's all that. I would have taken somebody else. I would have taken a couple guys over Quay Walker personally, but hey. So far, the Lions are winning the draft in the NFC North for the second year in a row. And at the end of the day, if the Lions walk out of the NFL draft winning the North, right? Not winning the draft, not being the number one team or the number one draft class. If they win the North, then they did their job. Because they won the North last year in the draft. They had the best draft in the NFC North. And if they do it again, that'll put them at 2-2. Or that'll put them at 2-0 in 2 years. 2 wins. They won the draft 2 years in 2 draft classes. And that'll put them one step closer to competing with the rest of the North for an NFC North title. I genuinely believe that. I would expect O-line. Yeah, O-line wouldn't shock me. Maybe Bernard Ryham from Central Michigan would be my big guess, because I've heard they're not 100%. They're not 100% sold on Mekhi Becton, even though he was really good as a rookie. So we're talking Bernard Ryham maybe, or no, pretty much just I'm gonna go with the Central Michigan kid. Oh, I missed it.
NFL draft, the New York Jets select Jermaine Johnson.
Oh.
Linebacker, Florida State.
I genuinely forgot Jermaine Johnson. Jermaine Johnson, was still on the board. I expected Jermaine Johnson to be gone earliest 15. And I forgot he was there, to be totally honest. I forgot Jermaine was even on the board still. This is Robert Saleh's Nick Bosa. This is his edge rusher that he's gonna pair with Quentin Williams. This is the guy who he's gonna pair with Quentin Williams. And I like this pick. I like it a lot. I think he's gonna pair with Quentin Williams very well. I think that their pass rush is going to be much improved next year. I think the Jets have killed this draft. I agree. I think the Jets have won the draft so far. I think they've had the best draft class. They got Sauce, Wilson, and Jermaine Johnson. And they gave up capital to get Jermaine. But at the end of the day, they're adding a top 15 prospect at pick 26. I love this pick for the Jets. I really, really like it. I really do. Some people had him going as high as top 5. He falls to 26. I mean, that's just amazing value by Robert Saleh in the New York Jets. They've had a phenomenal draft so far. Hats off to them, honestly. I couldn't ask for much more. I couldn't ask for much more from the New York Jets. I could ask for a little more from my Lions, but not bad. If Jameson is healthy, I think he's the best wide receiver in the draft, and Hutchinson should have went 1. So I think the good draft is good. I do too. I think the draft is very good. I think Hutch should have gone number 1, and I think if Jameson Williams never tears his ACL, he's the easy number 1 wide receiver in this class. So assuming that he's healthy for, I'd say 12 games next season, I'm giving a B+ or a low A- to the Detroit Lions so far. Does a team trade up for Willis by pick 32 or no? I mean, I don't think so. I wouldn't guess it. I would be surprised if any quarterback goes, right? Because, I mean, Jacksonville moved up. Jacksonville moved up for pick 27. So right now, day 2, your first couple of picks, all right, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, and 40 is Tampa Bay, who won't take a quarterback, Minnesota twice, who won't take a quarterback, Tennessee, probably no quarterback, New York Giants, probably no quarterback, Houston Texans, no quarterback, Jets, no, Chicago, no, Seattle, maybe. Malik Willis might fall to 46. But if we're talking safety, if we're talking about Lewis Sign, right? Jacksonville won't take him. Green Bay won't take him. I doubt New England will take him. I doubt KC will take him. Cincinnati won't. Minnesota probably won't. Tampa Bay won't. Minnesota definitely won't. Tennessee probably not. New York, no. Houston, I would doubt it. New York, no. Chicago, no. Seattle, no and no. That leaves you 5 picks away from Lewis Sign. Leaves you 5 picks away. Jacksonville traded up to 27. Let's see what he's got. The pick is in. Jacksonville went Trayvon Walker, number 1. I mean, they're not going to go George Karlaftis, obviously. Maybe Devontae White. Maybe Nakobe Dean. I could see an Andrew Booth maybe trying to get their Jalen Ramsey back. There's a lot of different places they could go. 4th franchise to secure the first overall pick in back-to-back classes. That's not a stat you want. Ryan Tannehill is 35 or 36. I wouldn't be surprised if they took a quarterback in the mid-rounds. That is true in the mid-rounds, though. I agree with the mid-rounds part. Ryan Tannehill, I believe, is still under contract for 3 more seasons with a big old cap hit, which means you can't really move on from him. I feel like it's not the right time for Tennessee. I think they still have faith in Tannehill. Again, if he has 3 years on his contract and you can't get out of it for at least 2, I'm not taking a quarterback in the mid-rounds to waste 2 years of his rookie contract. It's an interesting point, especially if you're talking like a 5th-year option maybe, but I don't personally see it. So I just want to see rounds 2 and 3. So, okay, actually, all the picks have already been made and traded for us. Oh, Devin Lloyd was already picked. Okay, well, the pick actually hasn't been announced yet, but according to the PFF website, it's Devin Lloyd from Utah, which makes a lot of sense. We'll see if that's correct in a minute. But I don't see Green Bay taking a safety. I don't see New England taking a safety. Kansas City, Cincinnati, and Minnesota all are no's. Again, Tampa Bay is a no. Minnesota's a no. I really doubt that Tennessee does. I really doubt that New York does. Texans, it's possible. It's possible they take a safety, but I just don't see it this early in a rebuild. The Jets, no. Because they have some decent ones already, and they got some decent ones. I don't think they take one. The Bears, no, because they got Eddie Jackson. I doubt they take a free safety like Lewis Sign. Seattle, they got Jamal Adams. I don't think they take one. Let's see. Indy, probably not. Falcons, probably not. These two, definitely not. So Lewis Sign could fall to 46. Like, that's not that far out of the box. Because okay. I'm going to stop sharing for a second. I'm going to go to what I'm seeing. And what I am seeing is a PFF mock draft, right? And the pick is in. And just to show you what I was talking about. Apparently, it's Devin Lloyd. The pick hasn't like officially been announced yet, at least on my screen, but it's Devin Lloyd. It really is. They are promoting the website, I think. But okay, so like we're looking at this. Lewis Sign is still on the board. BPA probably. You're talking no for Packers, no for New England, no for KC, no for Cincy, no for Minnesota, no from Bucks, not again, no Minnesota. Tennessee's not taking one. Giants could, but I doubt it. Texans could, but I doubt it. The Jets, probably not. I think they have bigger needs, although they crushed day one of the draft. I wonder if they even hold this pick still. Bears, no. These two are not from Seattle. Like, they're not going to take one. The Colts are not going to take one because they have bigger needs than safety. The Falcons are probably not because, again, they have like quarterback, guard, D-line, corner. Let's see, just to make sure it's officially correct.
The first pick in the draft, Travon Walker.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have traded the 27th pick to the Jacksonville Jaguars. With the 27th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Jacksonville Jaguars select Devin Lloyd.
Okay.
Linebacker.
So, I guess the website wasn't wrong. Baltimore's not taking a safety because they have Marcus Williams and Kyle Hamilton, which is unreal. And then I don't think Cleveland does either because they got Grant Delpit and they got John Johnson and they got, they got some guys. So Lewis Sign, I really, really think Lewis Sign will be at 46, and I think that should be the pick. That's where I'm at right now. We'll go back to the mock draft as if we actually just reload it, it'll get all the picks right so far. Green Bay took Devontae Wyatt. Okay, I'm okay with that. Devontae Wyatt, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Lewis Sign's inching closer and closer to Detroit. I like it a lot. So you think a decent chance Lewis Sign or Dax Hill? Again, I don't think Dax Hill is going to be a Lion. I don't see him being a free safety. Like, it's just not. I think he's going to be a good NFL player. I don't think he's going to be a good free safety in the NFL. He's going to be a slot cornerback, a nickel defender. He's going to be great at it, but that's not what the Lions need. But Lewis Sign absolutely, I think, will be available at the pick, and I think that should be the pick. I think he will, and I think it should be. Crossing our fingers that the Lions just stay put and that Lewis Sign falls to them. If Lewis Sign does fall to them, I'm thinking Brandon Smith or Channing Tindall at 97. If not, then maybe something else. If you don't take a linebacker at 97, you think maybe Nefe Sewell at like the 200s could be really interesting. But we'll definitely see. We'll definitely see. But let's see. Let us continue through the mock draft, and we are going to find out what happens. But so far, I'm pretty darn happy. Lions to make one more trade to take Malik today. I mean, hey, you never know. You never know. But hey, honestly, if you're talking about the Green Bay, if you're talking about the Packers, I'm going to give them a B. I think they did a solid job. I think Devin Lloyd's a better linebacker than Quay Walker. I think Devontae Wyatt is the second, maybe even the best interior defensive tackle in this class. I like that pick a lot. I'm going to give that pick an A-. I think it's a very good one. I still think wide receiver is a big need, and you're gambling by not taking one. But as you're talking players in a vacuum, it's really good. You're talking in a vacuum, it's very good. I'll give him a B. I'll give him a B grade for tonight. I don't like the Quay Walker pick, but I like the Devontae Wyatt pick a lot. I'll give them a B. I'll give the Lions a B+. And depending on what Minnesota does, I can't imagine they're going to jump Detroit. But yeah, we're going to find out here pretty soon. I keep hearing lately that the Lions are playing split safeties. Unsure what that means. They have the same role responsibilities or what. Split safety, at least from what I know, is like you split the field in half and you have one safety covering each end or like each half, which is also like a cover two, essentially, like a cover two or a two high shell is essentially what I'm taking away from that. And that's what I think is going to look like. Maybe I'm totally off on that. But even if, they're going to play at least two safeties next year. And if one gets hurt, you're starting CJ Moore, which the Lions might like CJ Moore, but I don't really feel comfortable starting him. I still think Lewis Cine would be really, really good. I think he'd be day one the best coverage safety. And I think I'm thinking safety at 46, and I'm thinking linebacker at 97. For sure. That's where I'm at. I'm with you, Tony. I don't think linebacker's right there necessarily. Like, I'm not, like, as far as value, I don't think the value is right there at 46 unless Nakobe Dean might fall somewhere. But Lewis Cine is my target one for sure. Lewis Cine is my guy. I'd be very, very happy with it. Lark Weil is also very high on Lewis Cine. I think that's the pick. It seems like the easy pick, right? Because, this is actually way easier. But we should probably start the draft if we're gonna start making some more picks. But yeah, you're talking like day 3, day 2 even. Nakobe Dean's a good option. Lewis Cine is my favorite option. Like Malik Willis is still available. Jaquan Brisker to a lesser extent is still available. Brian Asamoah is there. Nick Cross is an option for sure. He's a tone setter. We need more of those guys on D. Hutch is another one. Yeah, Hutch sets the tone for the game.
Walter Payton, NFL Man of the Year, here with us.
The Packers are going up right now, and we're going to see what they pick, even though we know it's Devontae Wyatt. Let's hear it spoken.
Commissioner. Thank y'all. Whose house? That's what I'm talking about. I am very humbled and grateful to stand before you as the 2021 Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year. I would love to thank the NFL, the Payton family, and Nationwide for everything they do to support players as we try to make positive impacts in our communities. When I look back over my time in the NFL and my career over 16 years and a Super Bowl champion, one of the most rewarding things about it was the platform I was able to build to help change people's lives with a lot of other teammates across the NFL and people in organizations. And I want to take this opportunity to challenge the players of the NFL and encourage you and the prospects of this NFL draft. Take advantage of that opportunity. Don't let it go. Let's leave a legacy that lasts longer than just the game field, but shows who you are on and off of it to make an impact that'll last for generations. Thank you so much for your time.
Andrews, great man. We're so proud of you. With the 28th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft,
Green Bay Packers select Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle, Georgia. Yep. All right, New England is on the board. They've probably already made a pick, but we're going to wait and see what pick they actually do end up making here pretty soon. I wouldn't be shocked if the pick is already in because, I mean, it's New England. They're probably going to take George Karlaftis, but hey. Or maybe it's just in I have no idea. But yeah, tomorrow, I think the draft starts at like 6 tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'm thinking, I mean, Lewis Cine is my big one. Lewis Cine is my guy tomorrow for sure. At 46, Lewis Cine's my guy. At 97, I'm thinking right around the range of. I mean, DeMarvin Leal, if DeMarvin falls, I'm thinking like Fedarian Mathis maybe. What happened to all the linebackers? I know there are linebackers left on the board. I'm thinking, Charles Harris or Christian Harris maybe as a coverage guy. Brandon Smith as an athlete. Channing Tindall as an athlete. If you don't want anybody like that 97, Netface Sewell is certainly still an option down later. Yeah, some opportunities for sure for a linebacker. As long as I'm just gonna say, as long as the Lions draft linebacker and safety at some point in this class, hopefully they address safety twice, once tomorrow and maybe once on day 3. If they walk away with Cine and JT Woods from this class, I'm gonna be super happy. If the final class looks like Cine, JT, Tyndall, Uwazurike, and Cole Kelly, then I'm cool. It's an A from me, easy A. As long as the Lions keep getting value, we're good. As long as the Lions have gotten value both picks, as long as they keep doing that, we're good to go. So, Patriots pick is in at number 29. We have just a few picks left, 29, 30, 31, and 32 until we are done tonight. We are 3 hours and 17 minutes into this thing. It's been a fun draft. It's really been fun. It's been loaded. I mean, there's been trades. There's been controversy. It's really something special to watch. So we're gonna keep going. Maybe we do a little bit tomorrow. On the 29th, maybe we do it for a little bit. Obviously, round 2 usually goes a little bit faster than round 1 because we got to get through twice as many picks. But yeah, and then day 3, we're probably not going to stream it because that's just like 12 hours of streaming, and I don't got that much time. But yeah, I think a stream tomorrow for at least up until the 46th overall pick, maybe into the top 50 just in case. Yeah, I mean, I'm just be sitting here watching the draft anyway, so why not watch it with you guys, right? So I'm really excited. We could always refresh and see what the Patriots are going to do, but I like to see it live. I want to be surprised. I'm going to guess it's George Karlaftis. George Karlaftis seems like the pick here. I think it's going to be George. It seems like a Patriots guy, not because he's white, but because, just a new guy, somebody that's fallen down draft boards, isn't getting all this hype, isn't really like an elite prospect, but I think he's going to fit. I think Belichick's going to find a role for him. He's going to put up good sacks, right? They got rid of Chase Winovich. They got rid of Winovich this offseason to the Browns. They could use another edge rusher for sure. Definitely another edge. I think George Karlaftis is the right pick. I really do. I really, really, really do. So we can go back and recap really, really quickly. The night started at 8 o'clock with Trayvon Walker being selected. Aidan Hutchinson went number 2. Stingley and Ahmad Gardner went 3 and 4 respectively. Then KT was the first big shock at number 5. Ike McQuaney was a little surprised at 6. Evan Neal was kind of a chalkboard pick. Drake London at 8. I think great pickup for the Falcons. Charles Cross, great pickup for Seattle. The Jets, I think, are having the best draft of anybody. Get Garrett Wilson at 10 on top of Sauce at 4. Chris Olave goes at 11. And then Jameson Williams somehow gets to the Detroit Lions at number 12 after an absurd trade. I think the biggest trade of the night for any NFL team. Jordan Davis goes to the Eagles. Kyle Hamilton goes to the Baltimore Ravens. Texans get Kenyon Green. Washington gets Penn State's Jahan Dotson. Zion Johnson goes to the Chargers to give Justin Herbert some protection. The Titans trade away A.J. Brown, and they pick up Treylon Burks, which is crazy. Trevor Penning goes to protect Jameis. Kenny Pickett's the first and only quarterback off the board so far. The Chiefs trade up for Trent McDuffie. The Packers get Quay Walker, and then obviously the rest is right there. But let's get over here really quickly.
The New England Patriots select Cole Strange, guard, Chattanooga.
Wow.
Ha!
Wow. I thought Cole Strange, he was one of my favorite mid-round guys. I thought you might get him in the 3rd round. The Patriots, they take the guys they like, going all the way up.
That is certainly a Patriots pick. Interior lineman. I mean, he's the 3rd guy on the board. Cole Strange, guard from Chattanooga. I mean, hey, arguably the best guard left. Like, I'm not gonna diss on him for it. It's a Bill Belichick pick. It's certainly a Bill Belichick pick. But hey, Belichick once again, he gets that guy. Bill Belichick gets the guard from Chattanooga. He gets the guy nobody knows, the guy that nobody remembers, and he's going to turn him into probably a Pro Bowl guard and ship him off for a conditional 3rd round pick in like 2 to 3 in like 4 to 5 seasons. Good pick. 1 sack allowed in 2021. I think I saw like an 88 run block grade from PFF as well. Good player. The Chiefs already picked. I'm going to double down. I'm going to say Christian Watson. I'm going to say Christian Watson's the guy. The Chiefs certainly have a need at wide receiver. I'd say it's their biggest need right now on the board. And I'm going to go Christian Watson, wide receiver from North Dakota State.
With the 30th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Kansas City Chiefs select George Karlaftis.
Wow.
Defensive end.
Okay.
Nice.
Well, I miss on the Chiefs twice. They don't address wide receiver at all, funnily enough. And, well, there you have it. George Karlaftis, edge from Purdue. I looked at some point as a top 3 pick. Some people had him as a top 5 pick to the Giants, a top 7 pick to the Giants at some point. Really young, very inexperienced at the sport of football. I think he's only been playing for 2 seasons of football in general, not just collegiate ball. And I think he's got a lot of room to grow, but I think he's got a lot of ceiling to reach for. And I don't dislike it. I really don't. Chiefs followed their board with that one. Yeah, I think so too. I feel like leaving Christian Watson off their board. I don't know. Because I don't know what they're not seeing in Christian Watson. Like 6'4", 4.3 speed, Patrick Mahomes' arm. Unless they think a really good wide receiver like Sky Moore is going to fall to them in the 2nd, I'm not quite sure where they're going with this one. But no disrespect to George Karlaftis at all. I think arguably best player available. He had a 25% win rate. He was up there out of the top edge players in college last year. Yeah. Good player. Didn't have like the sack production, which does concern me, but he's a good football player. He's super young, super raw, as far as like he just doesn't have a lot of experience. But he certainly has all the tools to succeed. Certainly has all the tools to succeed in the NFL. And I think he will with the Chiefs. I think they're getting a really good edge rusher for sure. I'm happy with it. I don't think there's been a whole lot of misses tonight, honestly. I feel like I'm saying I'm happy with all the picks, but like there's not a lot to dislike. Like Trayvon Walker is a pick I actively don't think was the right pick. Hutchinson, I liked. Stingley was good. Ahmad was good. Kayvon, Ekem, Evan, London, Cross, Wilson, Olave, Williams, Davis, Hamilton, Green, and Jahan Dotson. I'd say you could get better value. But I don't hate the pick. Zion was good. Traylon was good. Trevor Penning was good. Kenny Pickett was good. Trent McDuffie. Quay Walker, I disagree with. Both Walkers from Georgia, funnily enough. And that's it. Just those two. Both Walkers from Georgia and maybe Jahan Dotson are the only 3 picks I think were missed on tonight. And if there's only 3 picks you're missing on in 32, then the NFL did a good job tonight. Really? Chris Olave? I thought Chris Olave was a really good player. I really like, maybe not better than Jameson Williams, but Chris Olave was certainly a very good wide receiver. Yeah. I like the Olave pick. I thought it was a good pick. So there's only 3 picks tonight that I genuinely wasn't happy with, and it was both Walkers from Georgia, Trayvon and Quay, and then Jahan Dotson. And other than that, I think the NFL has done a really good job. We have 2 picks left. Yep, Cincinnati and Minnesota are both yet to pick. Then that's going to wrap up night 1. We're going to go over big takeaways, the winners of night 1, and what to expect for night 2. And then we're going to get out of here as we're 3 hours and 30 minutes in and 30 minutes to midnight. Good thing I don't have school anymore because I would not want to get up for class tomorrow. I think he's a number 2. He's not worth a draft slot yet. Not better than Williams. They knocked Dotson for his size, but he has superior ball skills to Olave, and Olave is also tiny. Yeah, but Olave also might be the best route runner and the best separator in this class. Like, he runs a legit 4.3. He is I'd say he's the best route runner in this class. He creates elite separation, got good hands. Sure, not the big jump ball contested guy, but he's certainly a top 5 receiver in this class for me. He's a top 5. I think my top 5, not necessarily in particular order, but my top 5 guys were Wilson, Garrett Wilson, Drake London, Jameson Williams, Chris Olave was my 4, and George Pickens was my 5. And if you were curious, Christian Watson was my 6. So I had him above Watson. I had him above Pickens. I think I don't have him quite as like a top 15, but top 20 I was more than happy with. Who's this comp? Isaac Bruce type player? I would even go as far as to say Devontae Adams. I would say he's a smaller Devontae Adams. Super good route runner, really good separator, sets up DBs really early in routes. I mean, just creates so much separation. It's unreal. Good run after the catch, silky smooth when changing direction. He isn't Devontae Adams. He won't be Devontae Adams day 1. But if you're talking, what's the closest thing you could get to Devontae Adams that's not number 17? It in my opinion was Chris Olave, wide receiver from Ohio State. And yeah, no, I get the when it comes through. I saw it on the live stream. Adams is a much bigger bot. I understand that, but if you're talking like skill set, as far as route running, as far as separation, as far as understanding of route concepts and timing and run after the catch, like skill set wise, he's Devontae Adams if Devontae Adams was just a little shorter. He's got the same skill set to me, and I think that's because he's Devontae Adams if Devontae Adams is a little smaller. And what is Devonta. Okay. Adams D. Devontae Adams. He's only 6'1". Like Devontae Adams is 6'1". Olave height. They're the same height. They're literally the same height. Like he's a little thinner, but you're gonna put on some weight in the NFL. They're the same height. They're both 6'1". They both run really good routes. They both create great separation with good hands. The weight is different. I will give you that. The weight difference is a bit. I don't know what Chris Olave measures in at. Chris Olave, W-E-I-G-T. Chris Olave comes in at 187. Devontae Adams was at 210. So that's a 13-pound difference. But if you're talking like an NFL training regimen,
The AFC champion Cincinnati Bengals
hang on.
select Daxton Hill,
Wow.
defensive back, Michigan.
All right. So Dax Hill is the second Wolverine.
That's a good one. I like that. I like that a lot. Yeah, 23 pounds. It's a difference. It's certainly a difference. But you're talking Chris Olave could probably put on 5 to 10 pounds in the offseason, like with an NFL regimen. I'd say if Chris Olave puts on 5 pounds, if he's within 20 pounds of Devontae Adams, like, yeah, maybe he's not going to break the tackles, but he's certainly elusive enough to get around people. He certainly creates enough separation to get by people. I don't think Chris Olave uses his weight at all when he plays. I think him being lighter actually helps him because I think it makes him faster. I think it makes it easier to cut. I think it makes it easier to change direction. I think it makes him a better football player to be 187, and 187 really isn't that light. I feel like it's not that light. Average NFL wide receiver weight is only wide receivers in college average about 190, so he's only about 3 pounds off the college average. Like that's not that bad, to be totally honest. Interesting pick by the Bengals. I thought they'd go Booth to replace Apple at corner. Yeah, I did too. But I think Dax Hill can play. I think he's going to be a nickel defender, or like a strong safety. Right? I think you can play him as a nickel. Maybe rotate him around as a corner on the boundary if you need a little bit. I think you can play a couple different roles for you. I wonder if Minnesota is going to go Malik Willis here. That's just the thought that popped in my head. I wonder if the Vikings are going to go Malik Willis. Interesting. But I mean, he's within 3 pounds of the college average. He's only 13 off of the NFL average. So you think he puts on 5 pounds? He's within 7 of the NFL average. It's not too bad for Chris Olave. My comp for him was legitimately Devontae Adams. Like I thought he was that good that he could be Devontae Adams' clone. Same height, not similar height, not similar weight, but interesting. Is this Boye Mafa to the Vikings? This could be Boye Mafa to the Vikings. I'm thinking either Boye or potentially Malik Willis, since Boye, Malik Willis, maybe Arnold Ibiketti. Arnold Ibiketti still on the board for sure. I think Minnesota messed up by trading us their pick. We're going to find out here pretty soon. So far, the Lions are winning the North right now as far as the NFL draft. That's what I'm going to say. But we're going to find out here in just a minute. The pick is in. I'm going to say it's Mafa, Ibiketti, or Willis. I think those are one of the 3 players. I think that's where you're thinking right now. Maybe Andrew Booth, actually. Andrew Booth at corner is my 4. Those are my top 4. Willis, Booth, Maffa, Ibiketti. I think it has to be one of those 4. My number 1 actually is Andrew Booth. That makes so much sense to me. Let's see. We got crazy good value for that trade up. I expected it to be gutted. We'll see. I mean, yeah, I thought the value was very, very good. I was saying let's see the Minnesota Vikings. 30th defensive ranking a season ago. Actually worse than the Lions, funnily enough. Named Kevin O'Connell the head coach on February 16th. I missed that, to be totally honest. All right, let's see what we got. And then we can wrap up the stream, talk about tomorrow, and go on our merry way. I think it's Andrew Booth. I really, really, really think it's Andrew Booth. Hey, don't leave yet. We still got a pick to go. We still got probably 15 minutes left on this stream because we're going to talk about day 1, big takeaways, winners of day 1 in the NFC North, and what to look for tomorrow. So we got a couple talking points left, but thank you absolutely for showing up and talking some Lions with me because I had a lot of fun tonight. All right, Roger Goodell's here for pick 32. What we got, Vikings?
See what's going on. Sauce led it to him.
With the 32nd pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Minnesota Vikings select Lewis Cine, defensive back, Georgia.
We had one last pick to shoehorn in one more defender for the national champion,
And
Georgia
that brings
Bulldogs.
us to the conclusion of round 1.
And see.
That
Oh, nicely done. Wrap up
sucks.
the first round of the NFL draft here.
Okay.
In Las
Brings
Vegas.
us to the conclusion of round 1.
All right, quiet, Roger. We got things to talk about. Oh, that really, really sucks, man. Okay, Dax Hill goes at the Bengals, and Lewis Cine. Man, that's really tough. I was right about Lewis Cine going 32 overall. I just thought it would be to Detroit and not to. That's tough. Oh well. Well, I still think there are good safeties in this class. As far as tomorrow, I think your big lookouts are Nick Cross. Maybe they even trade back from 46 to get like some mid picks. But I'm thinking Nick Cross, Kirby Joseph, JT Woods, or Verone McKinley, or Sterling Weatherford. Those are my 5 safeties to watch for tomorrow. If you're talking about linebacker tomorrow, I don't think Nakobe I'll drop. I'm thinking Brian Asamoah, potentially Charles Harris, Christian Harris. Any of these 3 really would be good. Although I think you might get Damone Clark really late in the class for good value as well. Or Nife Sewell. And then at that point, I'm thinking also interior defensive line with maybe Federian, Thomas Booker, Uwazurike from Iowa State. Those are my targets for tomorrow. Those are like my 7 to 8 big targets for tomorrow. Predictions for how far Malik falls. I mean, honestly, like it wouldn't shock me if he goes at 33 to replace Brady when he's gone. It wouldn't shock me if he goes to Minnesota. I mean, he could go really anywhere to a team that doesn't have a rookie, or team on, or any team that doesn't have a top 10 quarterback or a quarterback on a rookie contract. I think Malik Willis is pretty in play for. Man, that Lewis Cine pick really hurts. All right. Collect myself. Okay. Day 1 of the draft, I think the Lions got a B+. I'm not going to bump it up just because I think just because I think the Vikings outplayed the Lions. Day one, I'm going to give the Vikings a B+. Actually, I'm going to give the Vikings an A. They traded down. They got really good value. They got, a high second, a high third, and a late first. I think the Vikings outplayed the Lions today. They got top safety, pick 34 and pick 36, and Lewis Sign. I think the Vikings get an A for day one. I think the Lions get a B+, A- range, and I think the Packers get a B. I think Devontae Wyatt's a very good player, and I think that Quay Walker was not a wasted draft pick, but I think he didn't maximize the potential there. So, with that being said, the Lions did not win day one of the draft, but they did very, very well. I think they filled out two of their bigger holes on the roster, being, a big edge and a big wide receiver. As long as they can address quality safety play at some point in this draft, it maybe twice, in linebacker once, then I'm totally good with it. But other than that, that was live for guys today. 3 hours and 40 minutes in. We got a lot of viewers. We got a lot of interaction, and I had a great time talking NFL football with you guys. But with all of that being said, that is all I got for you guys today. 2 videos, 1 live stream. Thank you all so very much for watching. And until next time, as always, go Lions.